Kadambari, you all know what Kadambari is, a prose romance written by Banabhatta. And Banabhatta wrote only the Purva Kadambari and then he passed away. So his son, Bhushanabana, completed it. That is called Uttara Kadambari. Kadambari is a very beautiful word. It means alcohol also. So they say Kadambari Rasajnanam Aharopina Rochate. But it's not that Kadambari we are talking. We are talking about text. Bhushanabana says at the commencement of the Uttara Kadambari, when the prose romance was left unfinished by his father, he writes the second part for satisfaction of Rasikas. And he says, not due to Kavitva Darpa, not because I got the pride that I am a poet. So the same thing with me also. Next slide. Nārayanīyam, as all of you know, is primarily a Bhakti Kavya. Author Narayana Bhattadiri, dated 16th century AD. Reason for the composition. It is said that the early life of Bhattapada was not that good. I don't want to explain further. So he became sick and struck with rheumatism, paralysis, and bedridden. Tunjat Eduthachen, a great Jnani, Malayalam poet and philosopher, he has written Ramayana. He heard about that and he came to see him because Jnanis know each other, telepathy. We want something like a stupid instrument to know, but they don't want that. So he came and after discussing with them, he went out and the relatives of Bhattadiri asked what was the conversation like. So Bhattadiri said in Malayalam, എഴുത്തച്ഛൻ എന്താ പറഞ്ഞതെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഈ വ്യാധി സുഖമാണെങ്കിൽ മത്സ്യം തൊട്ട് തുടങ്ങണം. മത്സ്യം തൊട്ട് തുടങ്ങണം in Malayalam means starting on fish. So they were all aghast. An Orthodox family, somebody comes and says you take fish. So they said this is what will happen when you allow people like that to come. So Bhattadiri said, no, you don't understand. Matsyam Totu Tarangana means start with Matsyavatara. Dashavatara should be given. That is the idea. And then he started on. But the Avatara Krama is not like that as in the Bhagavata. Though Nārayanīyam is a summary of Srimad Bhagavata, 18,000 slokas are there in the Bhagavata, which is called Purana Ratna. This is only 1033 slokas in 100 Dasakas, a summary of the whole thing. But interestingly, one interesting episode of Bhagavatam is not there. Jada Bharata Upakhyana is not mentioned here. I don't know whatever the reason. But there is an Anubandha available in Guruvayur where this is available. Anyway. And at the end he had actually vision of Lord of Guruvayur, Agre Pashyami Tejaha. He had the vision. And thereafter he was completely cured of paralysis and he moved about spreading bhakti all over Kerala. That is the background of the book. That is the reason for the composition. Next. I have taken the topic Advaitic concepts in Śrīmannārāyaṇa. What is the meaning of the word Advaita? There are three types of definition given. Na vidyate dvaitam yasmin brahmani, or ekam eva advitiyam, or ekam sat vipraha bahuda vadanti. There is only one reality. In English they call it non-dualism. That's not the correct way. Of course the language has got its own defect in translation. You can't say, in Tamil we say, Poradagalam. You can't translate in English as insufficient time. That's not the meaning. So like that in translation sometimes these problems arise. Anyway, na vidyate dvaidam yasmin brahmani. There is no second, only one. That is the meaning of Advaita. Now what is the concept that is embedded in Nārayanīyam? Advaita concept. Next. There are three major systems of philosophy: Advaita, Vishishtadvaita and Dvaita. Advaita says one and only one. Vishishtadvaita says one in many and many in one. Next one. And Dvaita says many only. And Dvaita propounds Panchabheda. The universe is called Prapancham because Prakarshena Panchabhedaha. And what are the five? God and individual different. God and matter different. Individual and individual different. Individual and matter different. Matter and matter different. This is the Panchabheda. This is what the Madhvacharya has laid down. And the Madhvas, or what they call as the Dvaita philosophy, speaks. We have no quarrel on any of these. Yaya yaya bhavet pumsam vyutpattihi pratyagatmani sa saiva prakriya kneya sa sadvija anavastita. This is the first lesson we teach or learn philosophy. All things are acceptable to us. Loko binna ruchihi. So what you like, you take, that's all. Not to despise or negate anything. All are correct. All acharyas on par with us. Bhagavad Pada, Acharya Ramanuja, Acharya Madhva, they're all equal to us. They're all great, no question. We can't say this is superior, that's superior. I like this. For example, you take your food. Somebody likes sweets, somebody likes savory. All are good. All roads lead to Rome. There's no question of negation. The question is of preference only. I prefer this, you prefer that, that's all. So that is the meaning. Those three systems are there. All of them speak of liberation, moksha only. What is the aim of taking birth, especially a human birth? It is to work towards emancipation in Christian language, or moksha, so that there is no question of again getting into the womb of a mother. That's what was quoted earlier also. Repeated birth and death, this is called samsara. In Tamil, of course, samsara means wife. That we should not take like that. Repeated birth, repeated deaths, and going on like that. The cycle, that has to be broken and rendered loose. That is the idea of all philosophy. This is how the acharyas have told us, and Bhagavad Pada says one and only one. There is no second. Ekam eva advitiyam. Yes, next one. Bhagavad Pada, in his scintillating commentary in the Brahma Sutras of Vyasa, says, Evam ekamabi Brahma nama rupa upadi sambandham tad viparidam sarvobadi vivarjidam nyeyatvena upasyatvena cha vedandeshu upadishyate. You find a lot of manifestations of God, but there is only one Brahman. Then how do you resolve this? This is a question. Evam ekamapi Brahma nama rupa vivadi sambandham or sarvobadi vivarjidam. Either name and form or no name, no form. All these, what is the difference? One for upasana and one for jnana. So there is no problem. And again he says, in the start of the Brahma Sutra commentary, Yadhacha ayamartaha sarvesham vedantanam sarigamimsayam pradarsyashyamaha. And what is Sarigamimamsa? Sarigamimsa shastrasya vyajikyasitasya idam adimam sutram asado brahma jignasa. My professor Dr. Veeranathan used to say, this commentary is something like Concorde plate landing. Such a beautiful commentary. Bhagavad Gita starting itself. Next one. Sarire bhavam sharirigam or Atma Surupam. Both these Saguna and Nirguna aspects of Brahman, both are there. One for Upasana and one for Jnana. Both these Saguna and Nirguna aspects of Brahman are indicated in the very first verse of Śrīmannārāyaṇīyam. Though this text is predominantly a Bhakti Kavya, as is a condensation of, in 1033 verses of 100 Dasakas, 18,000 of Srimad Bhagavata, 13 skandhas, which is hailed as Purana Ratna among the 18 Puranas. Now, what is the first sloka? Next one. You find in the morning also it is mentioned, Janmadhyasya Yadonmayad Yadardhascharte Swabhiknyaswarad of Srimad Bhagavata and Sandranandatmaka Bodham. This is the Nārāyaṇīya first sloka. According to Kadavayadi calculation, this text, Srimad Bhagavatam, like Mahabharata also, is called Jaya. Jaya is not victory in our world or our activity. It is getting out of this circular existence of the soul. Liberation, which is the be-all and end-all of all existence. The opening sloka in both in Bhagavatam and Nārāyaṇīya contain the same idea only. It starts like that. Next. Janmadhyasya Yadonmayad Yadardhascharte. Anmayadu, Idradaha means Anvaya, and there are two ways in logic. Anmaya and Vyatireka. These are the two types by which you can arrive. Janmadhyasya Yataha. Now this is supported by the Taittiriya Upanishad. Yato vayamani bhutani jayante yena jadani jivandi yatpayandi abhisambhishanti tadvijiknyasasva tadbrahmeti. So this is all supported by Upanishad statements also. Tena brahmasa adive mukshanti yasuraya tejo vari mudam yada vinimayo yatra vasargomasa dhamna svena nastagudam satyam param dhimahi. Satyam, in simple translation in English they say truth, but that's not correct. Satyam is traikalika abhadyatvam satyasya lakshanam. All three divisions of time, past, present and present, and future, it must be the same. Then it is called Satyam. Or you can say Satyam is Nityam. Next. Now you see the same idea here. Sandranandava bodhatma arvamidam kaladesavadibhyam nirmuktam nityamuktam nigama sadasagastrine nirbhasyamanam apiyaspashtam dristamatre punaha urvushattatmagam brahmatattvam tattabadbhadi sakshad gurupavanapure hanta bhagyam jananam. And those who do not go to Guruvayur or do not pray to Lord of Guruvayur, manda bhagyam janana. For those, hanta bhagyam janana. Now I am going to dwell at length upon this sloka only. There are a number of slokas in Nārāyaṇīyam which will give you insight into the concept of Advaita. Bhakti Grantha, no doubt, it's very beautifully explained earlier. I am not a scholar. I am trying to understand only. So you'll pardon me if I blabble something and do something wrong. But as a last slide I will show, Tyagaraja's song a lot on Lord Rama is Ishta Devata. But he says, why I have done is not because I have got any Panditya. Greater people have sung the glory of Lord, so I have also got a feeling and a love to song. So that is what I am doing. Not that I have got any scholarship. People sitting here are all monumental, great people. I only thing is, though I am elder, I have to follow at their feet. That is the type of people you got here. I shudder to come and talk in Sanskrit college because it's full of knowledge. But I should also do something. Kalidasa says in the opening state, in the Raghuvamsha, like a dwarf trying to get fruit which is there in a higher place. So I am trying to do that. So you pardon me for my mistake and allow me my blabberings. Yes. The key words in this innocent looking invectory words. It looks very simple, but to show the both Saguna and Nirguna aspects of Brahman, to indicate the nature of the Lord of Guruvayur. Next. Now what are these split? Sandra Ananda, Ghani Buddha Ananda, bliss. Ananda cannot be used for anything other than Brahmananda. Taking good food is not Ananda. It may be happiness, because Ananda is permanent. Anando Brahme Divyajana. It is permanent. Taking good food for 3 hours, it is good. Thereafter, there is no taste. So Ananda cannot be used for anything other than Brahma Swarupa. Avabodha consciousness or Chit. Now you know that Sat Chit Ananda. That is what it is. Chit. Anupamidam. Incomparable. That's why Advaita comes. If you can compare to something, comparison means Upama yatra sadrishya lakshmi ullasati dvayo. 100% it should fit in. Then it's only called Upama. Otherwise it's either called Luptopama or defective Upama. Purnopama means it should be 100% tallying. So Anupamidam means nothing there to compare. So that means one only. You can compare only if there is another. Anupamidam. Ekameva advitiyam Chandogya and Sajadiya, Vijadiya, Swagata Beda. Difference between same species, difference between different species, and difference in itself. All the three. Nothing is there in this in Atma Swarupa or Brahman. Brahman has no parts. Therefore, the question of internal differences don't arise. Ananvaya Alankara is there. Gaganam Gaganadaram Sagara Sagaropamaha. Ravana Ravanayor Rava Ravanayor Yuddham Rava Ravanayor Iva. Or Indurivetyadav. These are all Alankara Shastra where they use the name Ananvaya Alankara. Ananvaya, no Anvaya is there. So that is the state here. Anupamidam. Next one. Kala Desha. Beyond Kala and Desha. Time and place. Beyond space and time. That means Nitya or Satya. It is not confined to a place, nor is it confined to a time frame. It is both beyond that. Existing always, existing in all places. So only one. Satya may have seen non-depletion in all three. In other words, Kutastha or Achala or Dhruva. These are the terms mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita also. And Bhagavad Pada in his commentary on Srimad Bhagavad Gita says, you need not read any text, read only this text. Idam Gita Shastram Sagala Vedanta Shastra Sangraha Bhutam. But one small point is, Durvignayartham. It's very difficult to understand. Unless you've got people like those great people to explain to us, we can't understand Gita. Next. Nitya Muktam, meaning what? Beyond Maya. About Maya also, Shastrigal was saying in this morning, is three things are there, Trigunatmaka, Sattvam, Rajas and Tamas. So is Maya Atita or beyond Maya? Maya, is it existing or not? Existing for the Ajnani, not existing for the Jnani. Yanisha Sarvabhutanam Sasyam Jagrati Samyami Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani Sanisha Pashyato Mune. That's why Bhagavad Pada says, Bhagavad Gita itself is enough for you. Idam Gita Shastram Sagala Vedanta Shastra Sangraha Bhutam. But Durvigyayartham. Okay. So in Advaitic parlance, Maya inheres in God and also in Jiva. But difference is, Shvetaswara Upanishad says, Mayam tu Prakritim Vidyad, Mayinam tu Maheshwaram. Maya is controlled by Ishvara. Mama Maya Duratyaya Gita. But Maya controls Jiva. This is the problem. Maya is common only. But Maya is under the control of God. But Maya controls Jiva. So this is why one has to get above Maya. They call it Maya Tita, Guna Tita. Or they say a person who has got realized his essential nature. And Bhagavad Gita verse, Devi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya, etc. Chapter 7:14. Next one. I think I will not be able to do justice. If a person wants to do an analysis on Advaita concepts, it must be a thesis. I am only taking here and there some slogas, and for my satisfaction, whether it is for you or not, I don't know. For my satisfaction, I am going to say some slogas and close my paper.
Sir,
Next.
let me remind you that let me remind you that though you are speaking about Mayatita, you are not Kalatita.
This is the type of presiding officers we want. So that it gives me a free rein to talk what I want. But even then, there's a limitation to my knowledge, sir. I will see. Thus, the Swarupa Lakshana of Brahman, as you know, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, this Anantam is also known as Ananda. Anando Brahme Divya Janat. Next one. I am skipping because all of you know all this. All of you know more than me. My satisfaction, I am come and talk, that's all. Drishtamatre. Drishtamatre, morning, very beautifully it was explained. I am only trying to attempt something. On realization of self as non-different from Brahman, Atma Sakshatkara results. This happens when Maya is removed. It is something like a plane going 50,000 feet above sea level. There is a cloud below, you can't see. Or take an eclipse, for example. You can't see the sun or the moon. So Maya is something like that. A person who can see that without that becomes a jnani. A person who can't see that remains an ajnani. This is a simple rule. So what blocks your jnana? Ajnana. Everybody is a jnani. That's why the Kanchi Mahaperiyava, when somebody went and told him, "Sir, I want to gain knowledge," he said, "You are already a jnani." Vivekachudamani, Bhagavad also says, "Ma Vaishta Vidwan," you are a jnani. Only problem is, no need to take any effort to get jnana. Try to remove ajnana, that's all. That is what is covering. So it is a discovery and not an invention. This is the point. The two aspects of Maya are the veiling power, Avarana Shakti, or the revealing power, or the Vikshepa Shakti. This is the problem. Avarana, covering. It covers the real thing, Brahman. And Vikshepa, it reveals the untrue universe. That's the whole problem. But the person who is below that level thinks this is true, and we struggle with that. And this Maya is Anadi Maya Suptaha Yada Jiva Prabudyate Ajam Anidram Aswapanam. Then only he understands. Ajam Anidram Aswapanam Advaidam Buddhyate Tada. In Advaita, words Maya, Avidya, Ajnana are all synonymous. Different contexts they use it, but they mean only the same thing. Jnana Rahitya. Next one. Ajnanena avritam jnanam tena mushinde jantavah Bhagavad Gita. This is a spelling mistake there. Guru Purusharthatmakam, highest Purushartha. That is the Chaturvida Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Brahma Tattvam, Tattvam-asi, Chandogya Upanishad, Tattvam-asi. Advaita concepts may be seen in many places in the text. I have only taken samples, as they call as Dingmatra Patarsanam. Or in Tamil they say, Urupana Shorukku, Uru Shoru Padam. That's all. But this is a matter for scholars to research, and maybe to do a big study, maybe a subject for thesis or research. I am only taking few here and there. Next. I don't think you should warn me. I will complete quickly. You are taking it to warn me now.
It's a request, sir. Not a warning. It's a request. 3 minutes.
No, you are competent to warn me, sir. No harm. You are the master here now.
No.
You are the master.
I'm not competent enough to do that. It's a
Evam durlabhya vastu nebi sulabhadaya hastalabde yadanyad tanva vaja diya va bhajati bata janaha shuddhadaiva spudeyam. Yede davadvayam tu sthiradara manasa vishwapidabhahatyai nishesh atmanamenam guru bhavanapurādīsa eva ashrayamaha. How many persons? This is what is the nishesh atmanamenam. One word I am taking out of the sloka to show the concept of Advaita. It is a prayer. I take resort here, Guru Ayyappa, I surrender to you, and you are my refuge. That's all right. But what is the Advaitic word there, or the Advaitic tenor in that? It is Nishesh Atmanamenam. How many persons, or even in the entire universe, the body of the Lord? You find that in Vishnu, Vishwam and Vishnu. Vishnu is not name, Vishalu is the root from which Vishnu is derived. Vishwam, first word in Sahasranama. Vishwam, Vishnu, Vashatkaro. We may recall Vishnu, Vishnu, etc. and Vishnu Sahasranama, and also Bhupada Vyasya Nabhir Vyasya, that prayer where meditation is there as Bhupada Vyasya. The whole universe is considered to be body of Vishnu. You find that also in the Vibhuti Yoga 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Next. The Purusha Sukta, the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita 13-16 also. Tatrekastam Jagat Krishnam Pravibhaktam Anekada So the Arjuna could see totality, the entire universe established in one place, in the body of God of gods. And the description goes on in the 10th chapter, Vibhuti Yoga. And Vishwarupa Darsana, the 11th chapter. Next. Here the sloka you quoted here, but Jivobi Naivaparaha. Bhagavad Pada says in the text, I forget the name, anyway. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mitya Jivo Brahmaiva Namaraha Anena Vedyam Satchastram Idi Vedanta Dindima. Brahma Jnana Vali Mala, that is the text. That's what we find here. Jivo Bhi Naiva Aparaha. So see the Advaita concept there. Jiva means for all beings which are having Jiva, alive. That mobile spirit within, that is nothing but Brahman. Next. You can take the Brahma Sutra also, Shastra Unitvad, for this as a support. Next one. There are two vadas in the commentary of Brahma Sutras by Vachaspathi Misra and Prakash Atman. One is known as the Bimba Pratibimba Vada, and the other is, I'm sorry I am talking all this to scholars here. It's good if I talk to students, I don't know. Anyway, I have started my work, I will do it. Bimba Pratibimba Vada of Vachaspathi Misra and also Vivarana by Prakash Atman. Bimba Pratibimba Vada. There is one Bimba and any number of Pratibimbas can be there depending upon the number of reflecting media. Eka eva hi bhudatma bhude bhude vyavasthidaha ekada bhuta jaiva drishyade jalachandravat. This is the sloka there. So one is there which is true and all others are only the pratibimba or the image. So again it comes back to the concept of Advaita. Or you can take this as the Avachedavada, containment theory. There is space outerward, there is space in this hall, there is also space in a glass you keep. Space is common. But then why there is a partition? Partition is because of the thing that contains it. The glass contains space. You break the glass, it goes with the hall or the room or whatever. You break the room, no, need not break this room, I'm telling. You break the room, what happens? It joins with the space. So only one space only contained. So all these things given by name and form are only containers. Container is important or contained is important. Even if you buy a stupid glass of bottle of juice, after taking the juice, what happens to the bottle? So that is all our value. So we are only containers. What is reality? Container. So this is the Avachedavada. There is outer space, there is enclosed space, there is still further little enclosed space. If these enclosures are removed, it's only one. So, Egam Eva Advitiyam. Next. Dasaka 8, Sloka 8. Chaturyuganam cha sahasrame vitvayi prasupte punar advitiye. The very word Bhattapada uses there, advitiye. Now these are all indicators of the ultimate reality, which is one and one only, though it is a Bhakti Grantha. That's a beauty. Because the level is, you see the division in Vedas, you division in the Bhagavad Gita also. There you got the Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda, Jnana Kanda in the Vedas. Here you find pocket edition of Vedas is the Gita, because all Vedas are summarized in Gita, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and the Jnana Yoga. And it was mentioned earlier also in the morning that Bhakti is like a light in between two rooms. You got 3 rooms. For economic purpose, you can have one light in between. It will like all the 3 rooms. It's only 3 partitions. So it is like that. Karma requires Bhakti. Jnana comes out of Bhakti. That's why it is put in the middle. It is juxtaposed between Karma and also Jnana. So Karma without Bhakti is useless. Jnana will not come without Bhakti also. So that is why this Advaita comes in all these areas. Very interesting to note this. We see in practical, 2 rooms with 1 bulb only. Electricity consumption is saved, but you get light in both. Madhya Deepika Nyaya. This is what they use as the technical term. Okay. Next.
Sir, sorry to interrupt.
I have to stop now.
You should have Anugraha Buddhi on the next speakers, youngsters.
I didn't follow. Is it a charge against me or an police? In
No,
the police, generally we frame charges. I don't know what you are doing. Maybe I am getting what I used to do.
No, sir, you should not put me in an embarrassing situation.
I will save you, don't worry. Bidir nama dvitiyad bhavati nanu manak kalpitam visa dvitiyam. Dvitiyad vai bayam bhavati. If suppose only one person is there in the universe, what you should be afraid of? Another man only we are afraid. So there is no dvitiya. Dvitiyad vai bayam bhavati. It's a concept of Advaita Vedanta. That's what he says. And this division is manak kalpitam. Why manakalpidam? Because of the gunas only. So once he becomes a gunatita, or a person who is beyond the gunas, the question does not arise. He becomes either a Jivan Mukta, or Videha Mukta, or a Sadhyo Mukta. Release from all these sort of containments. Next. See the list of animals he has given, birds he has given. Finally he says, whose idea or mind is only one is there, then there is no problem for him. This is the sloka, 91st Dasaka, 6th verse. There are others also, but for want of time and all that, I will show you the sprinkling here and there. That's why I said Ding Matra Pradarsanam. It is not a thorough study. It requires a lot of work and justification, quotation from outside, poets, philosophers, and all our seers and all that. But I will try to make as much as possible. So these green words which are there are indicatives of the Advaita concepts in this text of Narayana. Next. In Bhagavad Gita also you find 7th chapter, Matta Pardaram Nanyadi Kinjidasti Dhananjaya, Mai Sarvamidam Brodham Sutre Maniganayuva, and also Bahunam Jamnanamade Jnanavan Mam Prabhadyate, Vasudeva Sarvamiti or Sagalamiti, Samahatma. How many? Sudurlabha, not Durlabha, Sudurlabha. So 1 in a million by million, we will realize this. And that's what we are all striving to get into that 1 out of so many millions. Maybe in how many births, only Guru Ayappan should help us. Next. Now this was quoted in the morning also. There is Vastudaha Bandha Moksha. There is not that. Neither Bandha nor Moksha is there. It is all because Maya Krita. So a person who is able to transcend that, then he becomes what is called a Jivan Mukta. And the aim of all persons should be Jivan Muktas only. Jivan eva Jivan Sadi Muktahayaha Sa Jivan Muktaha. We got it Sita Prajna also in the Bhagavad Gita. A person who is not affected by anything good, bad, indifferent. He does his work and goes on with that and takes everything as Guru Ayappan's prasadam. That's all. If we can cultivate that mind, nothing like that. We can be doing it here as householders also. But we don't do that because we run after other things which are useless in the world, including me. Next. Jiva is not different from Brahman, like forest fire and a spark from the fire. There is a raging forest fire. One spark comes. What is the difference in fireness? No difference. Only size, only time different. Size and time are impermanent. What is permanent? Quality is permanent. Fireness is same. So, Nama Rupa Upadi. Both being temporary, there is neither bondage nor moksha. There is neither bondage, it's all maneva manishyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. The Upanishad says that. Brahman is always free. It is similar to Advaitins cannot but quote this example of Sarparajyu Nyaya. Kalyana Sundara Shastri used to say, the Sarparajyu Sodata Advaitike Manda Vidichu Vedunju. This is the standard example they gave. You see a rope in a dull light and breeze moving, you think it is snake. Then you have the torchlight and say, oh, there is no snake. There is no snake at any point of time. There is nothing called snake. But something is kalpitam on that. Now, because justice is here, I will try to quote from law, because Madam also is there. There is something called mistake of fact in investigation. Mistake of fact means there is nothing like that, but we think it is there. Later on, we realize it is there. I'll give you an example. My wife goes to taking baths in the bathroom. She keeps the gold bundle outside and goes inside. So I noticed that, and I think I should teach her a lesson for being careless. So I take it and keep it inside the almirah without telling. Then I will tell her I am going to office, come in the evening. I don't tell her. I go to office. She finishes bath, comes out and searches for the bangle. Not there. Whole day she is searching, worried. And evening, when I come back, as an innocent man, I say, what happened to your bangle? I don't know what happened. I don't know where I kept it. Maybe the newspaper man took it, or the milkman took it, or the servant maid took it. Nobody has taken. You have kept it carelessly. I kept it here. But in the meantime, she has gone to the police station and give a complaint because my bangle is stolen. It is not stolen. It is there only. This is called mistake of fact. Justice is there. That's why I quoted that. This same thing, Vidyaranya says in the commentary, Kantastam Abharanam Yatha. Or perhaps I can be the example. I am wearing the glass and search for the glass whole house. Then wife says, you have already put it. Then I say, thank you, I got it. Where is the question of getting it? It is never lost. This is exactly what happens in Jiva. The Jiva is actually Brahman only, but clouded by Maya, he is searching for Jiva. Irukkum idathai vittu illada idam thedugaran jnanathagame, they sing in Tamil. Exactly. Okay. So Rajju Sarpanyaya or Kasarita Nyaya, there is this finding a silver-like thing in a conch. No silver is there, but suddenly you think and keep it very intelligently in the pocket and come and tell your wife, I got a very great thing today. What is that? I got silver. Show it. Stupid fellow, it's not silver, it's only conch. It's exactly that. So this is what Advaita teaches regarding superimposition or adhyasa. That's why Bhagavad says, adhyasa is the problem that creates all this misinformation. Asyaha anartha hedoho prahanaya atma yegatva vidya padivateye sarve vedanta arabhyande yatacha ayamartaha sarvesham vedantanam sarigimimsayam pradashyashyamaha. Sarigimimsa shastrasya vyajikyasisasya idam adimam sutram atado brahma jignasa. So that is how the Advaita is established. Next one. Attainment knowledge is myth or mithya, because every being has knowledge inherent but clouded by Maya. Thus, ajnanena avridam jnanam tena muhyandindavaha. Therefore, effort should be to remove ajnana, obviously not acquiring knowledge, because praptasya prapanam na samijinam bhavati, apraptasya prapanam eva samijinam bhavati. Right. Next one. Next one. The more Mahavakyas show that Prajnanam Brahma Rigveda, Aham Brahmasmi Shukla Yajurveda, Tattvamasi Samaveda, Ayamatma Brahma, maybe you can add one, Sarvam Kalu Idam Brahma. The four mutts established by Bhagavad Pada, they have got these as the Mahavakyas. They indicate only oneness and no duality. Next. Vidyaranya example I have told you already. Next. So this is my humble attempt to say something on this matter, and I thank for the opportunity given to me. It's a learning for me for further learning. Saint Tyagaraja says he also wishes to sing praise of Lord Rama in his Kriti, in this raga and thala, where he says, Valmikadi Munulu Naralu Ninnu Vanninchiri Na Yasa Tiruma. All these great people have praised you, Lord Rama, but I got a desire to praise you, therefore I am singing you in the song. Exactly I am doing that, though great Pandits have talked about it. Thank you very much.
Sir, please. Please.
So next one.
Friends, it was a wonderful presentation. though Shri C.L. Ramakrishnan, it's on. Friends, it was a wonderful presentation. Though Shri Ramakrishnan began his talk saying that I am not a scholar, he has lucidly put the basic tenets of Advaita Vedanta in beautiful language. And न केवलं नाम्ना वाचापि रामकृष्णोऽहमिति एतैः ख्यापितं. रमयतीति रामः, कर्षतीति रामः. किन्तु देशकालावधिभ्यां निर्मुक्ततत्त्वं वदन्तः एते 40 निमेषैः सम्यक् विषयं प्रतिपादितवन्तः. Now I think nobody would have any query or suggestion or comment. Yes, please. Briefly, very brief.
From India to begin. Now in Kerala, Vasco da Gama came almost 90 years before he came, because almost 1500 years earlier he landed in India. So do you have any comments on this? It's a historical point.
Why they went there? For what purpose? Not out of belief there or disbelief here. For some personal reason. I don't know. Are you able to listen, sir? What was question was? Did you know? Those ladies and gentlemen sitting here. Our question was there. I think you give the question to them. Otherwise, my answer is not real. See, this gentleman's question is, though all these things are there in Kerala, many people did not believe this matter and went into other faiths. I won't call it religion. Like that also in Bengal and all that, though Vivekananda has been exploring all this. What is the Chaitanya? Okay. That is a point. Why people are migrating from this faith to some other faith? Is it your point? Then?
अयं यो विषयः प्रस्तूयते सः श्रीमद्भिः प्रस्तुतेन विषयेन साक्षात् सम्बद्धो नास्ति इति हेतोः अनन्तरपत्रावतरणाय श्रीमन्तः आचार्याः उमापतिमहोदयाः सादरम् आहूयन्ते. तेषां विषयः अस्ति नारायणीयभागवततौल्यम् इति. Sir, time is precious.
शिवशक्तिधरस्सुधाम्ना अन्यांशस्त्रचरणश्रवणत्वगादीनीं प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। सभायां विद्यमानेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः पुरुषेभ्यः मम प्रणति निवेदनपूर्वं स्वीकृते विषये साक्षात् प्रवेशं कर्तुमिच्छामि। मया स्वीकृतः विषयः अस्ति श्रीमन्नारायणीय श्रीमद्भागवततौल्यम् इति। यद्यपि अत्र अनेके विषयाः प्रातःकालादारभ्य अस्माभिः श्रूयन्ते, तत्रापि वेदान्तविषयः इदानीं पर्यन्तम्। अहं तु आलङ्कारिकः, अतः शब्देषु वैचित्र्यं कथमस्ति तावदेव अहं द्रष्टुं प्रभवामि इच्छामि च। अतः अत्र नारायणीयस्य एवं तस्य मूलभूतस्य श्रीमद्भागवतपुराणस्य च तौल्यं क्रियते, नाम तुलना क्रियते। यदि तुलना क्रियते तर्हि तत्र कोऽपि विषयः अवश्यं स्यात्। यतः इदं तु ज्ञायते एव सर्वैः श्रीमन्नारायणीयं भागवतं पुराणं निमित्तीकृतं, नाम तस्य आधारेणेव नारायणभट्टद्रिणा विरचितमस्ति इति। परन्तु किञ्चित् वैशिष्ट्यं, चन्द्रैव मुखम् इति उच्यताम्, अथवा मुखमिव चन्द्रः इति उच्यताम्, अथवा चन्द्रैव मुखमिव चन्द्रः मुखमिव किमपि वा उच्यतां, विषयः एक एव, परन्तु कथनभेदेन अस्माभिः वैचित्र्यं स्वीक्रियते। तद्वत् अत्रापि तुलनायाः अपेक्षा अस्ति वा न वा, परन्तु कथं तौल्यं कर्तुं शक्यते इति किञ्चित् मया चिन्तितमस्ति। नेक्स्ट्, तत्र प्रथमतया अभेदस्थलानि इति, नाम वस्तुगत्या अभेदाः एव भवितुमर्हन्ति, यतः तन्निमित्तीकृत्य इदं पुस्तकम् अथवा अयं ग्रन्थः विरचितः। तत्र विषयः एवं मया स्वीकृतः, अभेदः भवतु, परन्तु तत्र किञ्चित् कारणमस्ति। अयम् अभेदः नाम द्वयोः ग्रन्थयोः मध्ये अभेदः तु सिद्धान्तरूपेणापि वर्तते। यद्यपि प्रातः बहुभिः तत्र सत्यं परं धीमहि इति आरभ्य सत्यं परं धीमहि इति उपसंहारयोः मध्ये ज्ञानविषये एव सत्यं परं धीमहि इति ज्ञानविषयः एव उक्तः इति अयं पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् इत्येव परमहंसानाम् इयं संहिता वर्तते, भागवतग्रन्थः इति उच्यते। परन्तु तत्र श्रीमन्नारायणीये आदिमम द्वितीयदशके एवमस्ति, निष्कामं नियतस्वधर्मचरणं यत् कर्मयोगाभिधं तद्दूरेत्यफलं यदोपनिषदज्ञानोपलभ्यं पुनः तत्त्वव्यक्ततया सुदुर्गमतरं चित्तस्य तस्माद्विभो त्वत्प्रेमात्मकभक्तिरेव सततं स्वादीयसी श्रेयसी। एवमेव अत्यायासकराणि कर्मपटलानि इति कर्मयोगस्य एवं ज्ञानयोगस्य च काठिन्यम् उक्त्वा अन्ते त्वद्भक्तिस्तु कथारसामुदझरी निर्मज्जनेन स्वयं सिद्ध्यन्ती विमलप्रबोधपदवीम् अक्लेशतस्तन्वती सद्यसिद्धिकरी इति भक्तेः किञ्चित् वैशिष्ट्यम् उच्यते। अस्य च कथं भागवतात् सम्बन्धः भवेत्, भागवतेन साकम् अत्र सम्बन्धः। नेक्स्ट्, तत्र भागवते एवमस्ति, यद्यपि परमहंससंहिता इति उच्यते, पारमहंसी संहिता इति, तत्र दशमस्कन्धे साक्षात् ब्रह्मणः स्तुतौ एवमस्ति, ज्ञाने प्रयासमुदपास्य। तत्र ज्ञानप्राप्तौ प्रयासं त्यक्त्वा नमन्तः एव जीवन्ति सन्मुखरितां भवदीयवार्तां स्थाने स्थिताः श्रुतिगतां तनुवाङ्मनोभिः ये प्रायशः अजिता जितोऽपीयसि तैः त्रिलोक्याम् इति। ज्ञाने प्रयासः तु तदपेक्षया भक्तौ प्रयासः। एवं श्रेयश्रुतिं भक्तिम् उदस्यते विभो, एवं वैपरीत्येन उच्यते, भक्तिम् उदस्य ये केवलं बोधलब्धये क्लिश्यन्ति तेषामशो क्लेशः एव शिष्यते। तत्र एकम् उदाहरणं दीयते, नान्यद्यथा स्थूलतुषापघातिनां, तर्हि तैः फलं तु न लभ्यते। एवमेव अथापि ते देव पदाम्बुजद्वय प्रसादलेशानुगृहीत एव हि जानाति तत्त्वम्। अतः एवं रीत्या अग्रे एवमेव सप्तमस्कन्धे साक्षात् भक्तश्रेष्ठस्य प्रह्लादस्य इदं वाक्यमस्ति, मौनोव्रत श्रुततपोध्ययन स्वधर्मव्याख्यारहो जपसमाधयः अपवर्ग्याः प्रायः परं पुरुषते तु अजितेन्द्रियाणां वार्ता भवन्ति उतत्वा अत्र तु न दाम्भिकानाम् इति। तेषाम् अत्र क्लेशः अनुभूयते इति। परन्तु भक्त्या तत् सुलभतया ज्ञायते, लभ्यते एव। आरम्भे एव प्रथमस्कन्धे एव एवं प्रसन्नमनसः भगवद्भक्तियोगतः भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते भिद्यते हृदये ग्रन्थिश्चिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः अतः अतो वै कवयो नित्यं भक्तिं परमया मुदा वासुदेवे भगवती कुर्वन्ति आत्मप्रसादिनीम् इति भक्तेः वैशिष्ट्यम्। एवम् बहु वक्तुं शक्यते। अतः अस्य ग्रन्थस्य नाम भागवतपुराणस्य वक्ता यः वर्तते श्रीशुकाचार्यः सोऽपि आत्मारामाश्च मुनयः निर्ग्रन्थाः अप्युरुक्रमे कुर्वन्त्यहैतुकीं भक्तिम् इत्थं भूतगुणो हरिः इति आरभते। तथा अयमेव सिद्धान्तः नारायणभट्टपादैः स्वीकृतो वर्तते इति अयम् अभेदः अत्र अस्ति द्वयोः ग्रन्थयोः। अग्रे स्थूलविधया विषयाभेदः इति स्वीकृतः। नाम सामान्यतया विषयोः मध्ये अभेदः तत्र वैकुण्ठस्य वर्णना क्रियते। यस्मिन्नाम चतुर्भुजाः हरिमणिश्यामावदातत्पिषः नानाभूषणरत्नदीपितदिशः राजद्विमानालयाः। भागवतेपि एवमेव अस्ति यत्सङ्कुलम् इति तत्रापि वैकुण्ठवर्णने यत्सङ्कुलं हरिपदानतिमात्रदृष्टैः वैदूर्यमारकतहेममयैः विमानैः इति। तथा सामान्यतया यदि पश्यामश्चेत् एतादृश अभेदः वक्तुं शक्यते। अग्रे पदाभेदः अपि अस्ति। नारायणीये एवमेव पदप्रयोगः क्रियते। लभस्व भुवनत्रयी रचनदक्षतामक्षतां गृहानमदनुग्रहं कुरु तपश्च भूयो विधे इति ब्रह्मणस्सकाशात् भगवतः वाक्यं। भागवते तथैव अस्ति यावानहं यथाभावः यद्रूपगुणकर्मकः तथैव तत्त्वविज्ञानम् अस्तु ते मदनुग्रहात् इति। एवं शब्दस्यापि प्रयोगे अभेदः दृश्यते। उभयत्रापि समानविषयः तत्रैव स एव शब्दः स्वीकृतो अस्ति। अग्रे सूक्ष्मविधयापि विषय अभेदः द्रष्टुं शक्यते। यदा ध्रुवः तपस्यां कृत्वा भगवत्साक्षात्कारं प्राप्य आगच्छति तदानीम् एवं वर्णना क्रियते। इत्योचिषि त्वयि गते नृपनन्दनोऽसौ आनन्दिताखिलजनः नगरीमुपेतः। अत्र ध्रुवः सन्तुष्टः इति नोक्तः नारायणभट्टद्रिणा। आनन्दिताखिलजनः सर्वान् सः आनन्दितवान् नाम स्वकीयपुत्र स्वकीयपितृमातरादीन् इति। तत्र प्रमाणम् एवमस्ति सोऽपि सङ्कल्पजं विष्णोः पादसेवोपसादितं प्राप्य सङ्कल्पनिर्वाणं नातिप्रीतः अभ्यगात् पुरम्। भगवद्दर्शनं कृत्वापि ध्रुवः न अतिप्रीतः। तत्र पुनः मैत्रेयेन प्रश्नः क्रियते कुतः एवम् उच्यते भवद्भिः। साक्षात् पञ्चमासेषु भगवत्साक्षात्कारः प्राप्तः ध्रुवेन परन्तु नातिप्रीतः इति मैत्रेयस्य वाक्यं। तर्हि विदुरः यदा पुनः प्रश्नं कृतवान् तदानीम् उच्यते स्वाराज्यं यच्छतो मौढ्यात् मानो मे भिक्षितोपते ईश्वरात् क्षीणपुण्येन फलीकारानिव अधनः। तर्हि भगवता साकं मया गन्तव्यम् इति तत् मया न पृष्टमासीत्। इदं सर्वं स्वीकृत्य मया आगतम् इति तत्र क्लेशः अनुभूतः ध्रुवेन इति। अग्रे सूक्ष्मविषय अपरित्यागरूप अभेदः। तथा अत्र श्लोकेषु भागवते एवमस्ति यदा विषपानं क्रियते भगवता शम्भुना तत्र भागवते एवमस्ति प्रीतेहरौ भगवति प्रियेऽहं सचराचरः तस्मात् इदं गरं भुञ्जे इति तत्र भगवतः शम्भोः वाक्यं। तथैव अत्रापि गरलं तरलानलं पुरस्तादित्यत्र अग्रे अन्ते उच्यते गिरिशः तन्निपपौ भवत्प्रियार्थं। हे गुरुवातपुराधीश भवतः प्रीत्यर्थं शम्भुना इदं कर्म कृतम् इति। एवमेव पद अभेदः। पदेष्वपि अभेदः दृश्यते। सोऽयं मर्त्यावतारस्तवकलनियतं मर्त्यशिक्षार्थमेवम्। अत्र अस्माभिः दीपकालङ्कारे आवर्तिदीपकम् इत्यादि उच्यते। अतः मया आरम्भे एव उक्तमासीत् अस्माकं तत्र तथा प्रयोगः। यतः अत्र एवं प्रयोगः क्रियते मर्त्यावतारस्तवकलनियतं मर्त्यशिक्षार्थमेवम् इति। इदं पद्यं तावत् रामवर्णनविषये अन्ते अस्ति। परन्तु भागवते अयं विषयः अन्यत्र उक्तः अस्ति। पञ्चमस्कन्धे किंपुरुषवर्षस्य वर्णनकाले साक्षात् आञ्जनेय भगवता एवं तत्र स्तुतिः क्रियते इति। तत्र मर्त्यावतारस्त्विह मर्त्यशिक्षणम् इति। एवम् अत्र शब्दानां पदानाम् अभेदः वर्तते इति द्वयोः। एवं विषयभेदः इतः परम् एतावत्पर्यन्तम् अभेदस्थलेषु किञ्चित् दृष्टमासीत्। इतः परं विषयभेदस्थलः नाम अत्र यत्र यत्र विरोधः अस्ति भेदः वर्तते यतः तुलना क्रियते चेत् तौल्यं तथापि द्रष्टव्यं भवति। अत्र श्रीमन्नारायणीये तन्नाशात् खलजनभीरुकैः मुनीन्द्रैः इति पृथुचरित्रस्य वर्णनं क्रियते। तत्र पृथोः उत्पत्तिः तथा वर्णिता। दोर्दण्डे परिमथिते त्वम् आविरासीः। नाम वेनस्य यदा शरीरं मथितं तदानीं तस्मात् दोर्दण्डे त्वम् आविरासीः इति। परन्तु मूले तावत् भागवते बाहुभ्यां मध्यमानाभ्यां मिथुनं समपद्यत इति अर्चिषा साकं पृथोः उत्पत्तिः उक्ता। परन्तु तत् त्यक्ता अस्ति अत्र त्वम् इति कथनेन अयं भेदः। अनन्तरम् इतोपि सामान्यतया केचन भेदाः उच्यन्ते। श्रीमन्नारायणीये भगवतः नरसिंहस्य अवतारकाले पीवरदोषतोद्गतनखक्रूरांशुदूरोल्बणम् इति भागवते तथैव अस्ति विश्वग्भुजानीकशतं नखायुधम् इति। परन्तु तत्रैव नारायणीये अनन्तरतमश्लोके एव दोर्भ्याम् इति बाहुद्वयेन कृतमस्ति इति उच्यते। एवं भेदः तत्र सामान्यभेदः। इतोपि विमतत्सु सुरासुरेषु जाता सुरभिस्तामृषिषु न्यधास्तधामन् हयरत्नमभूत् अतेभरत्नं द्युतरुश्चाप्सरसः सुरेषु तानि। अनन्तरं कमला इति अमृतमथनकाले एते उत्पन्नाः इति वर्णिताः। मया अत्र निर्दिष्टमस्ति सुरभिः हयरत्नम् इभरत्नं कल्पकवृक्षः अप्सरसः एवं कमला इति एतेषां वस्तूनाम् उत्पत्तिः अत्र नारायणभट्टमहोदयेन वर्ण्यते। परन्तु भागवते इतोपि एकं किञ्चित् वर्णितमस्ति। तत्र हविर्धानी हयः वारणेन्द्रः पद्मरागः इति एकः विशेषः। मम कौस्तुभाग्यं रत्नमपि जातम् इति तत्तु न वर्णितम् इति कृत्वा अत्र भेदः मया स्वीकृतः। अग्रे विषयत्यागरूपभेदः। केचन विषयाः मध्ये मध्ये त्यक्ताः अपि भवन्ति। तत्र आनीतमासु भृगुभिः महसाभिभूतैः त्वां रम्यरूपम् असुरः पुलकावृताङ्गः भक्त्या समेत सुकृती परिणिज्यपादौ तत्तोयमन्वधृतमूर्धनितीर्थतीर्थम् इति वामनरूपस्य भगवतः पूजां कृत्वा इति नवमे श्लोके उक्त्वा अनन्तरश्लोके एव प्रह्लादवंशजतया कृतविद्विजेषु विश्वासतोऽणु तदितं द्विजितोऽपि लेभे यत्ते पदाम्बुगिरिशस्य शिरोभिलाल्यं सत्वं विभो गुरुपुरालय पालयेथाः इति समाप्तिः कृता। तत्र त्रिविक्रमावतारः तैः न निर्दिष्टः। मध्ये यद् अवश्यं सर्वैः ज्ञायते, परन्तु भागवते तद् वामनं रूपम् अवर्धत अद्भुतम् इति त्रिविक्रमावतारः उक्तः। सः विषयः अत्र नोक्तः इति कश्चन भेदः। अनन्तरं परिवर्तनरूपभेदः किञ्चित् परिवर्तितमपि अस्ति। वस्तुगत्या रामायणस्य विषये भागवतपुराणे रामचरित्रविषये अध्यायद्वये उक्तमस्ति, परन्तु अत्रापि दशकद्वयेन उक्तं। परन्तु नारायणभट्टद्रिणा रामायणं वाल्मीकिरामायणमेव स्वीकृत्य उक्तमस्ति इति सम्यक् भाति। तत्रापि भेदः अस्ति। वाल्मीकिरामायणेपि एवं नास्ति। साक्षात् तत्र अग्निकुण्डात् उत्पन्नः दिव्यपुरुषः एव पायसं ददाति इत्येव वर्तते। परन्तु अत्र गीर्वाणैः अर्थ्यमानः दशमुखनिधनं कोसलेषु ऋष्यशृङ्गे पुत्रीयाम् इष्टिमिष्ट्वा ददुषी इति ऋष्यशृङ्गः स्वकीयहस्तेन दशरथक्ष्माभृते दशरथाय दत्तवान् तद्भक्त्या इति तद्भुक्त्या इति अग्रे कथा। तर्हि मध्ये यागकर्ता यः यजमानस्वरूपी ऋष्यशृङ्गः सः स्वीकृत्य दत्तवान् इति पृथक् अत्र लिख्यते। परन्तु भागवते तथा नास्ति। साक्षात् सर्वेषां रामलक्ष्मणादीनाम् उत्पत्तिरेव वर्णिता वर्तते। तत्र पायसप्रदानम् इत्यादिकं तु भागवते न वर्णितमेव। किञ्च अग्रे गुणविरोधः अपि अत्र वर्तते। यद्यपि वाल्मीकिरामायणं स्वीक्रियते, परन्तु तत्रापि वाल्मीकिरामायणे एवं नास्ति। अत्रापि भागवते यदा सीताम् अपहृतवान् रावणः तदानीं रक्षोधमेन मृगवद् विपिने समक्षम् इति स्त्रीसङ्गिनां गतिमिति प्रथयंश्चचार। अतः गृहस्थैः एवं दुःखम् अनुभूयते एव इति प्रदर्शनमात्रं कृतं भगवता रामेण इति उक्तं। परन्तु तत्र नारायणभट्टद्रिणा तेनार्तोऽपि त्वम् अन्तः किमपि मुदमधाः एतादृशकर्मणा त्वम् आर्तः अपि मनसि किञ्चित् उत्पन्नसन्तोषः आसीः। यतः तद्वदोपायलाभात् रावणवधार्थं कश्चन उपायो लब्धः इति सन्तोषं प्राप्तवान् इति रामस्य गुणविरोधः अत्र दृश्यते। अग्रे कथाविरोधरूपेण भेदः। कथायां भागवते तथा नास्ति। तत्र प्रथमं भागवते वदामि। ततोदरस्य भगवान् अशोकवणिकाश्रमे क्षामां स्वविरहव्याधिं शिंशपामूलमास्थितां रामः प्रियतमां भार्यां दीनां वीक्ष्य अन्नकम्पद इति साक्षात् तत्र अशोकवणिकामेव गत्वा रामः सीतां दृष्ट्वा आरोप्य आरुरुहे यानं भ्रातृभ्यां हनुमद्युतः इति उच्यते। परन्तु अत्र नारायणभट्टद्रिणा ब्रह्मास्त्रेणास्य भिन्दन् गलततिम् अबलाम् अग्निशुद्धां प्रगृह्णन् इति अग्नौ परीक्षां कृत्वा सीतां स्वीकृतवान् इति कथाविरोधः अपि वर्तते। अग्रे रहस्यप्रकाशनरूपभेदः। भागवते कुत्रापि राधाशब्दप्रयोगः न कृतः। यद्यपि अस्माभिः राधा एव तत्र मुख्यनायिका इति ज्ञायते उच्यते च, परन्तु कुत्रापि भागवते श्रीशुकेन राधाशब्दप्रयोगः नोक्तः। तत्र प्रेयसीं प्रियः यां गोपीमणयत् कृष्णः सावधूः अन्वतप्यते इति तच्छब्देन अन्यत् शब्देनैव प्रयोगः कृतः, परन्तु अत्र मूलग्रन्थे यः शब्दः रहस्यरूपेण रक्षितः सः अत्र त्यक्तः। राधाभिधां तावत् अजातगर्वाम् अतिप्रियाम् इति राधाशब्दप्रयोगः इति रहस्यप्रकाशनरूपभेदोऽपि वर्तते। अन्ते श्रीमन्नारायणीये यतः इदं 92 दशके अस्ति, इदं तु भागवत अभिमतं नास्ति इति न, परन्तु भागवते तथा नास्ति, परन्तु स्वकीय अभिमतेन अत्र उच्यते गंगा गीता च गायत्री इति अष्टानां विषये उक्त्वा एतत् अष्टविषयाः अपि मम भवतु इति तत्प्रसादप्रवृद्ध्या क्षिप्रं मुक्तिप्रदानीति इति एतानि सर्वाणि क्षिप्रं मुक्तिप्रदानी इति उच्यते। अत्र अयं तु स्वाभिप्रायकथनरूपभेदः अस्ति। अन्ते एकं विषयम् उक्त्वा अहं विरमामि। सर्वथा कथापरित्यागरूपः भेदः। तत्र इदानीं पूर्वतनैः C.L. रामकृष्णमहोदयैः सः विषयः आरम्भे उक्तः। भागवते भरत नाम जडभरतस्य उपाख्यानं वर्णितमस्ति। तत्र अन्ते उच्यते अत्र हास्यं मृगत्वमपि यः समुदाजहार एदं भागवतसभाजिता इति। अत्र राजर्षेः भरतस्य अनुचरितं स्वस्थेनम् आयुष्यम् इति जडभरतोपाख्यानम् इति सर्वैः ज्ञातं, परन्तु नारायणभट्टत्रिणा केनापि कारणेन स्वकीये ग्रन्थे सा कथा एव सर्वथा त्यक्ता इति एतादृश भेदाभेदविषयाः वर्तन्ते इति उक्त्वा अवकाशं दत्तवद्भ्यः नमस्कारम् उक्त्वा विरमामि। धन्यवादः।
समीचीनः विषयः। उपविशन्तु। सम्यक् निरीक्ष्य प्रतिपादितः चर्चितश्च। यदि प्रश्नाः सन्ति अवकाशः अस्ति इति ज्ञाप्यते।
गृहे गमिष्यति इति तत्र नास्ति। तु शैव्यगृहम् इति वा किमपि वदति, शैव्यागृहे इति वदति। किमुतमयत् अतः तत्र अन्यत् प्रमाणमस्ति वा कथं नारायणभट्टत्रिः अस्मिन् गृहे एव सः प्रविष्टवान् इति?
भागवते तावत् साक्षात् रुक्मिण्याः गृहं प्रविष्टवान् इति ज्ञायते। यदि पूर्वं नोक्तं, परन्तु रुक्मिणी एव स्वयम् अत्र आगत्य उपचारं कृतवती सेवते स्म इति। अतः रुक्मिण्याः अत्र प्रधानं भवनं सः प्रविष्टवान् इत्यपि उच्यते। अतः तत्र रुक्मिण्याः एव भवेत् इति भागवतपुराणेन ज्ञायते। परन्तु अयमपि एकः भेदः भवितुम् अर्हति, शैव्यागृहे इति तदपि भवितुम् अर्हति। श्रीधरस्वामिनां व्याख्यानिकं ज्ञातुं न शक्यते। शैव्यागृहे तावत् अनेन नारायणपण्डितेन उक्तं।
श्रीमद्भागवते नास्ति, श्रीमन्नारायणीये उच्यते शैव्यागृहेन किमुत इति तत्र एव उक्तं। श्रीधरीये भाष्ये द्रष्टुम् अवकाशः नास्ति। अत्र इदं तु प्रथितं वर्तते भागवतं रसात्मकमिति। तस्यैव भगवद्भक्तिरसायनरूपं किञ्चन काव्यं भवति, किञ्चन नाम विशिष्टं काव्यं भवति नारायणीयस्तोत्रमिति। श्रीमद्भिः आलङ्कारिकैः तत्र त्याज्यग्राह्यधिया यथा आनन्दवर्धनाचार्येण उक्तम्, इतिवृत्तवशायातां त्यक्त्वा अननुगुणां स्थितिम् उत्प्रेक्ष्यापि अन्तरा अभीष्टरसोचितकथोन्नयः कार्यः इति। तथैव कविप्रवरेण भक्तश्रेष्ठेन भक्त अग्रिमेण नारायणभट्टपातेन कृतम् इति मन्ये। श्रीमद्भिः आलङ्कारिकैः विदितमेव तत्। समापयामो वा? छायापानाय विरामः इति कथ्यते। 5 निमेषैः कृपया गत्वा चायां पीत्वा आगच्छन्तु श्रीमन्तः इति प्रार्थना। ध्येयं सदा परिभवघ्नम् अभीष्टदोहं तीर्थास्पदं शिवविरिञ्चनुतं शरण्यं भृत्यार्तिहं प्रणतपालभवाब्धिपोतं वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दं त्यक्त्वा सुदुस्त्यजसुरेप्सितराज्यलक्ष्मीं धर्मिष्ठ आर्यवचसा यदगादरण्यं मायामृगं दयितयेप्सितम् अन्वधावत् वन्दे महापुरुष ते चरणारविन्दं गुरुवर्थे त्यक्तराज्यः व्यचरदनुवनं पद्मपद्भ्यां प्रियायाः पाणिस्पर्शाक्षमाभ्यां मृजितपथरुजः यो हरीन्द्रानुजाभ्यां वैरूप्यात् शूर्पनख्याः प्रियविरहरुषारोपितभ्रूविजृम्भ प्रियविरहरुषारोपितभ्रूविजृम्भत्रस्ताब्धिः बद्धसेतुः खलदवदहनः कोसलेन्द्रोऽवतन्नः। सामान्याः विद्वांसः परमादरणीयाः शास्त्रिपादाः अन्येपि श्रोतारः विद्युत्तल्लजाः सर्वेभ्यो नमः। अल्पीयान् कश्चन विषयः वक्तुमिषितः। सर्वे कविवरं भक्ताग्रण्यं विद्वन्मूर्धन्यं नारायणभट्टपादं श्लाघन्ते। अयं जनस्तु स्नेहप्रस्कन्नमनसा मयैतत् समुदीरितम् इति यथा सुन्दरकाण्डे श्रीमता हनुमता उच्यते कारणैर्बहुभिर्देवी रामप्रियचिकीर्षयाः स्नेहप्रस्कन्नमनसा मयैतत् समुदीरितम्। तथा स्नेहप्रस्कन्नमनसा कश्चन प्रमादलेश इव दर्श्यत इव। तत्र कारणं विद्यते यन्महतां संस्तव एव गौरवाय। यथा व्यक्तिविवेककारेण उक्तं तथा महतां सम्पर्क एव परिचये एव दोषदर्शने अपि गौरवाय नियतं यशसे प्रपत्स्यते यत् महतां संस्तव एव गौरवाय। कः दोषलेशः अत्र प्रदर्श्यते इत्युक्ते इदं तावद् विदितमस्ति श्रीमद्भागवतं भागवतरसस्वरूपं भवति तस्यापि संग्रहो नाम काव्यात्मकः संग्रहः रस्यमानता प्राणः संग्रहः कृतः कविना बुद्धेन भक्तेन आर्तभक्तेन नारायणभट्टपादेन इति। तत्र तेषां सङ्ग्रहणपाटवम् अतिप्रसिद्धं वर्तते। यथा अनन्तरमेव एतैः उमापतिमहोदयैः उक्तं श्रीमद्भागवतस्य तुलनात्मिका समीक्षा कृता। तत्र केचन कथांशाः त्यक्ताः, केचन ये न सन्ति भागवते ते स्वीकृताः अपि। तत्र इयं दृष्टिः वर्तते भट्टपादानां इतिहासवशायातां त्यक्त्वा अननुगुणां स्थितिं त्यक्त्वा रस अननुगुणां स्थितिम् अत्र च ग्रन्थे भक्तिरसः अथवा भक्तिभावः केचन पंडितराजसदृशाः अथवा मम्मटभट्टसदृशाः भक्तिः रसो न विद्यते इति वदन्ति। अद्वैतमूर्धन्याः अद्वैतसरस्वतीस्वामिनस्तु वदन्ति भक्तिरेव प्रकृतरसः इति। न एवं च भक्तिरसद्योतनाय भक्तिभावद्योतनाय अभीष्टरसोचितकथोन्नयः कृतः इति सर्वे जानन्ति एव। तत्र पश्यन्तु, यथा श्रीमद्भिः रामकृष्णमहोदयैः उक्तं जडभरतकथा त्यक्ता, पुरञ्जनोपाख्यानं त्यक्तं, श्रुतिगीता एकेन श्लोकमात्रेण श्रुतिगीता विषयः न स्वीकृतः, श्रुतिगीताम् अधिकृत्य किञ्चित् उक्तमित्येव। भूगोळवर्णनम् अन्यथा कृतम्। एते कथांशाः त्यक्ताः। नरनारायणकथा विषये सहस्रकवचवृत्तान्तः स्वीकृतः, अन्यतः स्वीकृतः। दैत्यं सहस्रकवचं कवचैः परीतम् इति। एवमेव उत्सार्य उद्धृतकेरलो भृगुपते वातेशं संरक्षमामिति जामदग्निकथायां केरलभुवः उत्सारः अपि ब्रह्माण्डपुराणात् उद्धृत्य स्वीकृतः। भक्तिद्योतनाय सर्वमिदं कृतं। भक्तिमहत्त्वं, भागवतकथानुगानं, भागवतानां माहात्म्यवर्णनं बहुधा कृतं वर्तते। प्रोचे भवान् अहमृषे ननु भक्तदासः इति अम्बरीषकथायां श्रीदामानमधत्तः भक्तदासतं प्रथयन् इति। एवमेव अक्रूरस्य भक्तिः, उद्धवस्य भक्तिः, एवं गोपिकानां भक्तिः बहुधा महता भावप्रकर्षेण वर्णिता विद्यते। कांश्चन श्लोकान् प्रदर्श्य तदनन्तरं विषये प्रविशामि। केवलं श्रावणायैव पश्यन्न वन्दत भवद्विहृतिस्थलानि पांसुषु अचेष्टत भवच्चरणाङ्कितेषु किं ब्रूमहे बहुजना हि तदापि जाताः एवं तु भक्तितरलाः विरलः परात्मन्। द्रक्ष्यामि अक्रूरसेव द्रक्ष्यामि वेदशतगीतगतिं पुमांसं स्प्रक्ष्यामि किं स्वित् अपि नाम परिष्वजेया किं वक्ष्यते स खलु मां क्वनु वीक्षितः स्यात् इत्थं निनाय सह भवन्मयमेव मार्गम्। एवमेव भक्तोत्तंसस्य उद्धवस्य गोपिकानां भक्तिं प्रदर्शयितुमेव टूतत्वेन तं प्राहिणोद्भगवान् इति श्रीमद्भागवते अस्ति। स एव कथांशः महता भावप्रकर्षेण भट्टपादैः अत्र यथा सङ्गृह्यते, यथा प्रस्तूयते, यथा निर्वर्ण्य वर्ण्यते इति शृणुत पश्यत च। स्मृत्वा स्मृत्वा पशुपशुदृशः प्रेमभारप्रणुन्नाः कारुण्येन त्वमपि विवशः हे भगवन् त्वमपि विवशः प्राहिणोः उद्धवं तं किमर्थं किं च अमुष्मै परमसुहृदे भक्तवर्याय तासां भक्त्युद्रेकं सकलभुवने दुर्लभं दर्शयिष्यन्। एवमेव अत्र पश्यन्तु, त्वत्प्रोद्गानैः कः अनुभवः सञ्जातः उद्धवस्य तत्र व्रजे इति वर्णयति कविः। त्वत्प्रोद्गानैः सहितमनिशं सर्वतो गेहकृत्यं त्वद्वार्तैव प्रसरति मिथः सैव च उत्स्वापलापाः चेष्टाः प्रायः त्वदनुकृतयः त्वन्मयं सर्वमेवं दृष्ट्वा तत्र व्यमुहत् अधिकं विस्मयादुद्धवोऽयम्। एवं भक्तिः सकलभुवनेनेक्षिता न श्रुता वा किं शास्त्रौघैः किमिह तपसा गोपिकाभ्यो नमोऽस्तु इति आनन्दाकुलमुपगतं गोकुलात् उद्धवं तं दृष्ट्वा हृष्टो गुरुपुरपते पाहि मामयौघात्। अत्र रामायणकथा यथा श्रीमद्भिः उमापतिमहोदयैः उक्ता नवमस्कन्धे श्रीमद्भागवते नवमस्कन्धे केवलम् एकेन अध्यायेन अध्यायद्वितीयेन इति वक्तुं शक्यते, किन्तु एकेन अध्यायेन रामायणकथा सर्वा सङ्गृहीता वर्तते। तत्र उत्तरकाण्डगता कथा नैव अस्ति, केचन द्वित्राः अंशाः अल्पीयांशाः अंशाः स्वीकृताः इव, किन्तु एतैः वाल्मीकिरामायणम् आधारीकृत्यैव रस अननुगुणानपि कथांशान् सम्यक् सङ्ग्रहीतुं महान् प्रयत्नो विहितः। एतेषां सङ्ग्रहणपाटवे प्रसिद्धिरस्ति, सङ्ग्रहणपटवः एते इति। तत्र नैर्भर्यमपि एतेषाम् अस्ति। यथा भगवद्गीतायां जिष्णोस्त्वं कृष्ण सूतः खलु समरमुखे बन्धुघाते दयालुं खिन्नं तं वीक्ष्य वीरं किमिदम् अयि सखे नित्य एकोऽयमात्मा को वध्यः कोत्र हन्ता तदिह वधभियं प्रोज्य मयि अर्पितात्मा धर्म्यं युद्धं चरेति प्रकृतिमनयथाः दर्शयन् विश्वरूपम् अस्ति। सङ्ग्रहणपटुता अस्त्येव, किन्तु तत्र महत् नैर्भर्यं जातमिति हेतोः सर्वे रस अननुगुणाः। रसो नाम भक्तिरस एव इष्टः विवक्षितः रसः भट्टपादानां। रस अननुगुणाः विषयाः सर्वे स्वीकृताः, रस अनुगुणाः विषयाः त्यक्ताश्च वाल्मीकिरामायणतः। तत्र एक एव अंशः महता वैभवेन सम्यक् काव्यभङ्ग्या सूचितः श्रीमतो हनुमतः भक्तिः। सम्प्राप्तो वातसूनुं भृशमुदितमनाः, एकेनैव पदेन सर्वं सूचितं। भृशमुदितमनाः भक्तभागवतयोः सम्बन्धः, भक्तभागवतयोः अभेदः, ऐक्यं च पादसेवनभक्तिं च सर्वं समसूचयन् कविवर्याः। सम्प्राप्तो वातसूनुं भृशमुदितमनाः पाहि वातालयेश। एवमेव सुन्दरकाण्डं कथापि सम्यक् सङ्गृहीता, किन्तु श्रीमद्भागवते सुन्दरकाण्डकथा नैवास्ति। अत्र पश्यन्तु, अल्पीयांशः अंशः बलातिबल मुनिकथितमनुद्वन्द्वशान्ताध्वखेदः ताटकावधः गच्छता मातुलुकुलं भरतेन तदानघः नीतस् भरते मातुलस्याधिवासं। एवमेव पौरान् आरुध्य मार्गे गुहनिलयगतः पौरप्रतारणं दण्डकारण्यप्रवेशः हत्वा दैत्यं विराधं सुगतिमकलयः चारुभो शारभङ्गीं कबन्धवधः। सुन्दरकाण्डकथा सम्पूर्णापि श्रीमद्भागवते नास्त्येव, किन्तु एकेन श्लोकेन सङ्गृहीता कथा। किन्तु एतैः कः अंशः त्यक्तः इत्युक्ते, वाल्मीकिरामायणे न केवलं श्रीहनुमान् किन्तु विभीषणशरणागतिः प्रसिद्धो वर्तते। विशिष्य वैष्णवकुले अभयं सर्वभूतेभ्यः ददाम्येतद् व्रतं मम किमिति सकृदेव प्रपन्नाय सत्यं। विभीषणकथा भक्तत्वेन नोक्तैव, न केवलं तत्, लक्ष्मणः भागवतः, महान् भागवतः। सर्वस्वं मे रामचन्द्रो दयालुः नान्यं जाने नैव जाने न जाने अस्य पादस्य अस्य श्लोकपादस्य अर्थः एव लक्ष्मणस्य हृदयं। सः सीतारामयोः न केवलं रामस्य सीतारामयोः सुखमेव पुरुषार्थः, तदेव सर्वस्य मम जीवनस्य लक्ष्यमिति विश्वसिति प्रवर्तते च। तं महान्तं भागवतं प्रति दुर्वचांसि उक्तवती सीता। तेनैव तया कीदृशं तु मया पापं पुरा जन्मान्तरे कृतं येन इदं प्राप्यते घोरं मया दुःखं सुदारुणम् इति सुन्दरकाण्डे सा वदति। किन्तु तस्याः मनसि किं वर्तते? अपचारः कृतः भागवत अपचारः कृतः तत् तुदति तस्याः मनः। वस्तुतस्तु तया किं वक्तव्यमासीत्? तादृशं तु मया हि इदं इह जन्मनि मे कृतं येनेदं प्राप्यते घोरं मया दुःखं सुदारुणं। किमर्थमिति चेत् पश्यन्तु, तत्र वाल्मीकिः सम्यक् सूचयति, एतत् काव्यभङ्ग्या सूचयति। लक्ष्मणः भक्तः इति वा भरतो भक्त इति वा कंठतो नोचे कंठतः उच्यते एकत्र भरतो महात्मा इति, भरतः भक्तः इति वाल्मीकि महर्षिणा उच्यते। पश्यन्तु, अरण्यकाण्डे किं वदति भट्टपादोपि श्रीमद्भागवतपुराणमनुसृत्य त्वन्मायाक्रन्दनिर्यापितभवदनुजां रावणस्तामहर्षीत् तेन आर्तोऽपि त्वम् अन्तः किमपि मुदमधाः तद्वधोपायलाभात्। भवदनुजस्य नाम लक्ष्मणस्य निर्यापणं केन कृतं? तन्मायाक्रन्देन कृतमिति। तन्मायाक्रन्द निर्यापित भवदनुजां सीताम् अहर्षीत् रावणः इति। वस्तुतस्तु निर्यापणं मायाक्रन्देन न कृतं, सीतायाः दुर्वचसा एव कृतं। न अनेन जनेन अप्रमाणेन कथ्यते एतत्। पश्यन्तु, शृण्वन्तु। सीता किं वदति? मां तु सीतां वरारोहाम् इति। सर्वं यन्त्रस्थं वर्तते इति तत्र समयः याति, किन्तु क्षमां याचे। सा वदति लक्ष्मणं प्रति, अहं तव प्रियं मन्ये रामस्य व्यसनं महत्। अहं तव प्रियं मन्ये रामस्य व्यसनं महत्। रामस्य व्यसनं दृष्ट्वा तेन एतानि प्रभाषसे। नैतच्चित्रं सपत्नेषु पापं लक्ष्मण यद्भवेत् त्वद्विधेषु नृशंसेषु नित्यं प्रच्छन्नचारिषु सुदुष्टः। महात्मानं भागवतोत्तमं श्रीलक्ष्मणं प्रति सैषा योषिद्वदति वदति, सुदुष्टस्त्वं वनेः राममेकम् एकोऽनुगच्छसि मम हेतोः प्रतिच्छन्नः प्रयुक्तो भरतेन वा तन्न सिद्ध्यति सौमित्रे तव वा भरतस्य वा इत्यादिकं वदति। तत्र वाल्मीकिः किं वदति? महर्षिः इत्युक्तः परुषं वाक्यं सीतया रोमहर्षणं तत्स्मरणेनैव इदानीमपि मम रोमहर्षणं जायते। रोमहर्षणं वाक्यं भवति, वचनं भवति इति वाल्मीकिः वदति। तत्र महात्मनः भागवतस्य लक्ष्मणस्य मुखात् निःसृतं वचः, अजानन् एव निःसृतं किञ्चित् वचः अस्ति। शृण्वन्तु। अब्रवील्लक्ष्मणः सीतां प्राञ्जलिः विजितेन्द्रियः उत्तरं नोत्सहे वक्तुं दैवतं भवति मम विमुक्तधर्मश्च चपल विमुक्तधर्माः चपलाः तत्सर्वं गच्छति नाम स वदति लक्ष्मणः वदति धिक्त्वा मद्य प्रणश्यत्वं तस्य हृदयात् निस्सरति वचः ज्ञात्वा न कथयति लक्ष्मणः धिक्त्वा मद्य प्रणश्यत्वम् इति तत्सर्वं मनसि कृत्वैव सीता सुन्दरकाण्डे हनुमत्सकाशे सन्देशदानसमये किं वदति रामाय सन्देशम् एवं ददाति एकेन श्लोकेन कौसल्यालोकभर्तारं सुषुवे यं मनस्विनी तं ममार्थे सुखं पृच्छ शिरसा चाभिवादय इति एकेन श्लोकेन आत्मनो भर्तुः सन्देशं ददाति लक्ष्मणाय सन्देशं शृण्वन्तो कथं वा ददाति सा इति बहुभिः श्लोकैः अतृप्ता इव खिन्ना मनसि महान् खेदः वर्तते महान् अपराधः कृतः इति बोधः वर्तते तेन तस्याः हृदयात् निस्सरन्ति एतानि वचांसि किं वदति सा स्रजश्च सर्वरत्नानि प्रियायाश्च वराङ्गनाः ऐश्वर्यं च विशालायां पृथिव्यामपि दुर्लभं पितरं मातरं चैव सम्मान्य अभिप्रसाद्य च अनुप्रव्रजितो रामं सुमित्रायेन सुप्रजाः यया सुमित्रया सृष्टस्त्वं वनवासाय इति प्रेषणं कृतं लक्ष्मणस्य सा सुप्रजाः सुमित्रायेन सुप्रजाः आनुकूल्येन धर्मात्मा त्यक्त्वा सुखमनुत्तमम् अनुगच्छति काकुत्स्थम् अत्र वदति अनुगच्छति काकुत्स्थं भ्रातरं पालयन् वने तत्र किमुक्तं तया चिन्तयन्तु अनुगच्छति काकुत्स्थं भ्रातरं पालयन् वने सिंहस्कन्धो महाबाहुः मनस्वी प्रियदर्शनः पितृवद्वर्तते रामे मातृवन् मां समाचरन् तत्र न स्थगति ह्रियमाणां तदा वीरो न तु मां वेद लक्ष्मणः वृद्धोपसेवी लक्ष्मीवान् शक्तः न बहुभाषिता राजपुत्रः प्रियश्रेष्ठः सदृशः श्वशुरस्य मे मत्तोपि प्रियतरः इति वदति सा रामस्य मत्तः प्रियतरो नित्यं भ्राता रामस्य लक्ष्मणः नियुक्तो धुर्यस्यां तु तामुद्वहति वीर्यवान् यं दृष्ट्वा राघवो नैव वृत्तम् आर्यम् अनुस्मरेत् वृत्तं दिवं यातं दशरथम् आर्यं न अनुस्मरेत् यं दृष्ट्वा राघवो नैव वृत्तम् आर्यम् अनुस्मरेत् सः ममार्थाय कुशलं वक्तव्यो वचनान् मम एवं बहुत्र बहुधा सूचितं काव्यभङ्ग्या वाल्मीकिमहर्षिणा तत्र सुदुर्लभः अवकाशः आसीत् तस्य प्रथनाय तस्य द्योतनाय तन्न कृतं लब्धे अवकाशेपि इति न केवलं तत् पश्यन्तु लक्ष्मणस्य ईदृशी गतिः कथम् आसीत् तत्र किं कारणं तत्रापि महर्षिः वदति लक्ष्मणेन भागवतापचारः कृतः महात्मनः भरतस्य महात्मा इति राम स्वयं वदति भरतमधिकृत्य भक्तः इति वदति तम् आकाश इव निर्मलः इति आदिकविः भरतमधिकृत्य तं निर्मलं भक्त अग्रेसरं भरतमधिकृत्य द्विः लक्ष्मणेन अवाच्यं वचः उक्तमेव पश्यन्तु अयोध्याकाण्डे चित्रकूटगते रामे भरतः रामं प्रत्यानेतुं वनं यातः तदानीं क्रुद्धो लक्ष्मणः कस्यापि सेनां दृष्ट्वा भरतः इति न जानाति सः सालवृक्षमारुह्य ततः पश्यति दूरे कोविदारध्वजः दृश्यते तेन तत्र स्थित्वैव रामं प्रति सः उच्चैः वदति किं वदति संप्राप्तो यमनिर्वीरा समयः संप्राप्तो यमनिर्वीर वध्यः इति वदति वध्यः अयमरिः संप्राप्तः इति रामः वदति किमत्र धनुषा कार्यं महेश्वासे महात्मनि भरते आगते किमत्र धनुषा कार्यम् इति रामः प्रतिवदति तत्र अहं हि अप्रियमुक्तस्याम् यद्यपि एते एवं कथयन्ति मया तत् स श्लोकः श्रावयितव्यः इत्येव चिन्त्यते नो चेत् इदं श्रावयामि तदनन्तरं समापयामि गोदावरी तीरे पंचवट्यां यदा प्रातः हेमन्तर्तौ धनुर्मासे प्रातः उत्थाय नदीं प्रति स्नानाय यान्तः सन्ति एते त्रयः सीतारामो लक्ष्मणश्च तदानीं भरतं प्रति लक्ष्मणेन किम् उच्यते इति शृण्वन्तु अस्मिंस्तु पुरुषव्याघ्रः काले दुःखसमन्वितः तपश्चरति धर्मात्मा त्वद्भक्त्या भरतः पुरे त्यक्त्वा राज्यं च मानं च भोगांश्च विविधान् बहून् तपस्वी नियताहारः शेते शीते महीतले इत्यादिकं बहु अस्ति तत्र बहु मया लिखितमस्ति किन्तु तत्सर्वं नोच्यते भारद्वाजेन महर्षिणा अपि शङ्का उत्थापिता इव अहं शङ्के किमर्थं त्वं वनमागतः किं वनेपि रामं द्रोग्धुमागतो वा इति पृच्छति तदानीं विलपन्न भरतः कथयति भगवन्तः अपि एवं कथयन्ति चेत् हा हतोस्मि इति कथयति तदानीं यशसा वर्धयन् प्रत्यभिवर्धयितुमेव मया पृष्टः अहं जाने तव हृदयम् अहं जाने रामस्य हृदयमिति ख्यापयति भरद्वाजो महर्षिः तत्र मम अयमेव विवक्षितः अंशः वर्तते वाल्मीकिना बहुधा कंठतः व्यंजनया च उक्तमेव अयं महात्मा इति रामेण एव उच्यते अयं महात्मा इति भरतस्य महात्मनः कथामेव तामेव कथां कुरु इति अरण्यकाण्डे वदति असुलभः अंशः अवसरः अवकाशः प्रमादवशात् इव त्यक्त इव भातीति स्नेहप्रस्कन्नमनसा कारणैर्बहुभिर्देवी रामप्रियचिकीर्षजा स्नेहप्रस्कन्नमनसा मयैतत्समुदीर्यते इत्युक्त्वा समापयामि सर्वेभ्यो नमः यद्यपि सत्राध्यक्षेण मया महान् कालांशः अधिकः स्वीकृतः तथापि क्षमया सर्वैः श्रुतः इति महान् आनन्दः धन्यवादश्च सिद्धः अस्ति वा अधुना आन्लैन् द्वारा सः वर्तते वा आगतो वा साईगणेशः सः संस्कृतं जानाति वा संस्कृतेन उच्यते no his topic he has given in English Nārāyaṇīyam my virtual spiritual journey so I invite Shri Sai Ganesh Krishnan who is joining us online to present this topic Nārāyaṇīyam my virtual spiritual journey it is requested that he may please make his presentation in 15 minutes 15 please Shri Sai Ganesh Krishnan.
Am I clear? Is the audio clear?
Yes, yes, you are audible, visible, please.
Can I share the screen, please? Can you please enable sharing of my screen?
Shri Sai Ganesh, you can please share your screen. Can you hear me?
நான் பேசுறது காதுல விழுதா?
காதுல விழாருது. நாங்க பேசுறது உங்களுக்கு காதுல விழாருதா?
நல்லா loud and clear.
அப்படியானா ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. டைம் ரொம்ப ஷார்ட்டா இருக்கு, ப்ளீஸ் ஒரு 15 மினிட்ஸ்ல முடிச்சுங்க. ஓகே,
ஷேர் பண்ண ட்ரை பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். உங்களால முடியறதா சொல்லுங்க. ஓகே, ஷேர் பண்ண முடியுதா இல்லையா?
இல்ல
சரி, நான் அப்படியே பேசுறேன்.
அப்படியே பேசுங்க.
நமஸ்காரம். ஸ்ரீ குருப்யோ நமஹ. குருரேவ கதிர் குருமேவ பஜே குருணைவ சஹாஸ்மி நமோ குரவே ந குரோஃப் பரமம் சிசுரஸ்மி குரோஹோ மதிரஸ்தி குரௌ மம பாஹி குரோ. Guru is my only refuge. I worship only the Guru. I am always with the Guru. Salutations to the Guru. There is nobody higher than the Guru. I am a child of the Guru. My intellect is fixed on Guru. O Guru, protect me. With the above shlokam that extols the importance of a Guru and how one must surrender oneself with the belief that Guru is the sole refuge and protector, I offer my humble obeisance to all my Gurus and to Lord Guruvayurappan to shower his abundant grace on all of us gathered here. Respected Chairperson, Shri Sundareswara Mahodaya, all the scholars present on this august occasion, it is indeed a blessing to be able to speak a few words about my journey with Nārayanīyam over the last 2 years or more. Standing before you is a truly humbling experience for me. In the midst of all of you who have dived deep into the ocean of this divine scripture of Nārayanīyam and extracted pearls of wisdom, I am like a child who has come to wet his feet on the shores of a mighty ocean. Regardless, I hope and I am sure you will agree that we all derive inexplicable knowledge and pleasure through such an immersive experience. I would like to speak about my experiences learning and in part disseminating Nārayanīyam amongst a small group of people in India and US. I have also tried to bring out some perspectives and my takeaways from some of the shlokas insofar as they relate to our worldly existence today. Introduction to Vyoma. My introduction to Nārayanīyam as an Anugraha Grantha, a divine garland of the essence of Bhagavatam, of Ramayana, of Bhagavad Gita, and so many divine scriptures happened by sheer providence, or should I say divine intervention. It was in early 2020 that we were introduced to the noble institution of Vyoma by a renowned cardiologist in Dayton and the chanting course of Nārayanīyam that was to commence under their auspices. My wife and I enrolled in the course with the hope that it would help us learn recitation of Nārayanīyam in the traditional way, and also because it is always advisable to have a guru in all spiritual endeavors. When the disciple is ready, the master will appear, goes an old theosophical saying. It is definitely true in my case and my wife, in the case of my wife and I, and many others who were fortunate enough to be introduced to Sri Shankararama Sharma, who was the Mahodaya at VEERA who would guide us in our learning. An introduction to Sri Shankararama Sharma in this forum would be a befitting gesture of respect to a guru. Sri Shankararama Sharma is a learned Sanskrit scholar who began learning the Bhagavad Gita and other stotras at the tender age of 4 from his mother, Srimati Srividya Ramakrishnan. He has received the blessings of the Jagat Gurus of Sringeri and Kanchi for having memorized the complete Bhagavad Gita in 2013. Apart from being an accomplished Vedic scholar and teacher, Sri Shankararama Sharma is also a researcher by profession, having completed his PhD in Artificial Intelligence at Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and is also a computer science graduate from RV College of Engineering, Bangalore. We owe a big debt of gratitude in our learning Narayaniyam to Sri Shankararama Sharma Mahodaya, who personifies exemplary humility and patience as a teacher. His inspiring personality, knowledge of Sanskrit scriptures, combined with his ability to explain difficult concepts in a clear and simple manner, makes the learning experience easy for everyone. Several elders in the US who are part of the learning group of Narayaniyam at VEERA pass on their deep appreciation of and salutations to Sri Shankararama Sharma Mahodaya for his noble work in imparting not only Narayaniyam but also for being such an inspiring, humble and devoted young scholar at such a tender age of less than 30 years. They are proud and happy with the stature he has achieved at this age by the grace of Lord Guruvayurappan. The format of online instruction by VEERA was comfortably paced with easily understandable audio-visual aids and a team of dedicated volunteer students. This made it extremely helpful in understanding and following the recitation of shlokas. I have been requested by them, and it is my privilege to pay our respects to Sri Shankararama Sharma and to VEERA on behalf of the US participants in this forum. With a view to sharing the joy of learning Narayaniyam with a wider audience, my wife Srimati Aparna started an initiative of sharing one Narayaniyam shloka in multiple languages with audio of the recitation daily through WhatsApp. We have been blessed to continue this over the last 2 years with a group of 70 participants in US and India. My perspective of Narayaniyam. To explain the essence of Narayaniyam is like splitting the atom or attempting to explain the extent of cosmos. After all, Lord Vishnu pervades both, and the Stotram brings out the glory of his all-pervasive and limitless nature as the God of gods, the abode of incomparable attributes, and the Bhagavan who would offer himself as boon to his devotees. I am sure all the scholars gathered here and many hundreds more over centuries have mastered the depths of the scripture, the beauty of its construction, meaning, devotion, and the infinite grace and miracles that play out in the lives of those who read the shlokas with faith and devotion. It would be futile on my part to try to even attempt to elaborate further. Hence, I would like to only offer my perspective of Narayaniyam, as I mentioned above, like a child on the seashore. Narayana Bhattadri, out of his intense devotion to Lord Guruvayurappan, compressed 18,000 shlokas of Bhagavatam into 1,036 verses without losing any detail. This masterly epic, Anugraha Grantham, stands out as a conversation between Lord Guruvayurappan and his devotee, a miraculous cure to human sins and maladies. Sarva Rogahara, Sarva Papahara, Sarva Siddhi Prada Grantaha. For us humans who are embroiled in the day-to-day challenges of human life and suffering, physical pain, conflicts of mind, or anxiety about the future, Narayaniyam provides an anchorage in the form of devotion to Lord Vishnu as an end to all human misery. Just as Narayana Bhattadri sought refuge in Lord Guruvayurappan to rid him of his pain, and God answered his prayers, just like the numerous devotees of Lord Vishnu who experienced his Leelas, we pray to Lord to shower his miracles in our lives and to ferry us safely across the ocean of mundane existence. Every dashakam in Narayaniyam is beautiful as it speaks of the omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience of Lord Vishnu, the God of limitless potential, creator of the universe, God of gods, and the God who runs to save his devotees. When one reads Narayaniyam, one can envision Bhattadri in a trance in front of Lord Guruvayurappan. When one recites Surya Spardi Kiritam, one envisages the effulgence of Lord Guruvayurappan in front in his splendid form, adorned in ornaments, showering his grace on his devotees. Similarly, when one recites the slaying of Hiranyakashipu, as Bhattadri paints a picture of the fierceness of the Lord and how the universe trembled with the roar of Lord Narasimha, one feels intense fear and devotion to the Lord at the same time. Whether it is the stirring of the ocean of milk for nectar or baby Krishna dancing on the hood of Kalinga, there are several dashakams in Narayaniyam that bring to life such stories of grandeur, of battles, of mischief, of devotion, and Lord's miracles with so much beauty that one feels like witnessing it as it happens in a few verses. Truly an exhilarating and intensely devotional feeling. My takeaways from the shlokas. The exercise of preparing this presentation itself has been an enlightening and elevating experience, providing greater insights into the scripture while also enabling me to reflect on life and priorities from a higher plane. It would take a devotee like Narayana Bhattadri to summarize the essence or nectar of Narayaniyam, and it is not my endeavor to do so. I have tried to capture a few learnings from the various dashakams in the context of our existence in today's world. Devotion. The genesis of Narayaniyam is based on Narayana Bhattadri's dedication to his Guru as he took on the pain of his Guru Achyuta Pisharadi's afflictions, and how Bhattadri got rid of his pain by Narayaniyam in front of Lord Guruvayurappan over 100 days. Throughout Narayaniyam, Bhattadri provides numerous instances of Lord Vishnu's devotees who got rid of their sufferings by their intense devotion. Prahalada, Dhruva, Gajendra, to list a few. In the second Dashakam, Bhattadri talks about the efficacy of Bhakti Yoga over other forms of like Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Similarly, how the simple devotion of Kuchela was blessed by God who showered his grace on him in Dashakam 87. While illustrating the power of devotion, Bhattadri mentions that Prahalad did not feel any suffering. Kimapi na nipidama bhajata. Dashakam 24, as his mind was completely fixed on thee. Devotion to God will help rid ourselves of the pain of suffering. Human life is full of suffering, material, physical, and emotional. I have realized that firm devotion to God is necessary to overcome our sufferings, with a belief that whatever is happening in our life is controlled by Him, and He will reward us for our devotion by removing our suffering. Feeling of oneness. A doubt arises in Bhattadri's mind that even those who are indifferent to the Lord are leading a happy life. So why he alone, despite being an ardent devotee, is subject to so much suffering? But then he decides that he will surrender himself at the feet of the Lord until Lord's grace descends on him in Dashakam 3. As humans, we are prone to compare ourselves with others and feel miserable that sufferings are unique to us and the pleasure is all around us without realizing that happiness is within ourselves. There is also a reference to the fact that dominance of Sattva Guna encourages the feeling of collective jivas as macro I, while the dominance of Rajas and Tamas increases Aham Tattva, as elucidated in Dashakam 5. God is the source of knowledge. Lord himself manifested as Brahma, the creator, and the latter meditated for 1,000 years to gain the knowledge of creation, and the Lord manifested and showed Vaikunta to Brahma and gave him knowledge, as in Dashakam 7. The phrase of Brahma praying to Lord Vishnu, Kurushva Dhiyamashu me Bhuvana Nirmitau Karmatam, O Lord, make my intelligence capable of creating the world, shows that one can achieve infinite knowledge with the grace of the Lord. God is omnipresent. Brahma found himself to be all alone in the huge lotus which was tossing about in the vast ocean of causal waters. Dashakam 9. He saw the stem supporting the lotus but was unable to see thy body and wondered as to who he was, helpless and all alone, and also of the source of the lotus, until the knowledge of reality dawned on him and he saw the Lord's wonderful form on Adisesha. I am able to draw a parallel to how we fail to recognize we are the manifestation of the Supreme and feel lonely and desolate when He is all around us. Worldly attachments. When the intellect gets attached to the sense objects, which are the product of the three gunas, it becomes the cause of bondage and suffering. otherwise it leads to liberation. The path of devotion to God indeed prevents attachment, as in Dashakam 15, as instructed by Kapila to his mother Devahuti. In this materialistic world, we are so drawn to external impulses. We are enamored by materialistic pursuits, attachment to relationships, and choose pleasant over good, which brings us much suffering. Whether it is Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, or any other Asura, the common attribute underlying these demons is arrogance driven by absolute power and anger that led to their downfall.
Excuse me.
It reflects the common.
Sai Ganesh, could you please summarize within 2 minutes, please?
Yeah, I'm ending in 2 minutes. It reflects the common pitfalls of humans who hanker for power, position, and authority, and materialistic pursuits compromise their virtues, leading to perdition. Following self-control, practice of right conduct, yogasanas, pranayama, and meditation will help us remove our desire for worldly attachments and lead us on the path of devotion to God. Chanting of Lord's name. Ajamila, who initially led a virtuous life, lost his self-control and strayed on to a sinful life. He called out to his son Narayana's name at the time of his death, by which Yama's emissaries were stopped by Lord's emissaries. Similarly, Narayana Kavacha protected Indra in the battle against Asuras, and Diti, who worshipped the Lord, gave birth to Maruts, who became a friend of Indra. Further illustrate the power of chanting Lord's name and how by merely uttering his name we rid ourselves of all our sins. In conclusion, the journey of learning Narayaniyam has been as insightful as it has been a spiritual endeavor. Reading the stories of various incarnations of Lord Vishnu and his Leelas in the lives of his devotees helps open our mind and reflect on the priorities of human existence. It has strengthened my belief that we are just a minuscule part of a cosmic whole. True devotion to God, chanting of God's name, turning our senses inward, and curtailing our material attachments can help us rid ourselves of our suffering. The above are just some droplets of wisdom that I've captured based on my simple understanding of a few shlokas of Narayaniyam and their relevance in the present day world. This online virtual learning would not have been possible without the grace of Lord Guruvayurappan, for he connects Guru and Vayu online virtual classes to us, seekers of knowledge. Ram Ram.
Thank you, Shri Sai Ganesh. Thank you for sharing your experiences and elucidation of, or condensation of the gist of Narayaniya. Thank you. It was a wonderful presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
प्रश्न न प्रश्नानाम् अवकाशः नास्ति. साई गणेशोपि न वाञ्छति इति मन्ये. तेन डॉक्टर रूपा नारायणभट्टपादस्य व्याकरणप्रयोगचातुर्यं नारायणीय आधारेण एकमनुशीलनम् इति स्वीयं विषयं दशभिर्निमेषैः सम्यक् सङ्गृह्य वदति. सा समर्थ अध्यापिका वर्तते. व्यासे समासे च महत् सामर्थ्यमस्ति अस्याः. तेन दशभिर्निमेषैः किञ्च शाब्दिका इयं. तेन मात्रालाभात् पुत्रलाभः इति शाब्दिकाः अस्तु.
लैट् अस्ति. तर्हि अहं साक्षात् विषयं प्रविशामि. केरलेषु विख्यातः महापण्डितः वैयाकरणः भक्तशिरोमणिः कविः च आसीत् मेल्पुत्तूर् नारायणभट्टः. व्याकरणप्रतिभया कवित्वेन च प्रातस्मरणीयः अयं वैयाकरणानां मध्ये गौरवास्पदं स्थानम् आवहति. यानि व्याकरणशास्त्रभिन्नानि पुस्तकानि नारायणभट्टेन विरचितानि तेषु अन्यतमं स्थानम् अस्ति नारायणीयाख्यस्य स्तोत्रकाव्यतल्लजस्य. यद्यपि शङ्करभगवत्पादानां सौन्दर्यलहर्यादीनि स्तोत्रकाव्यानि सन्ति तथापि भारते इतः पर्यन्तं विरचितेषु स्तोत्रकाव्येषु प्रमुखं स्थानम् अलङ्करोति इदं नारायणीयं. काव्यसौन्दर्येणापि हृदयावर्जकं भवति काव्यमिदं. नारायणीयवत कवित्वपाण्डित्योभयनिदर्शनम् अन्यां काव्यं विरलमेव स्यात्। काव्यगुणैः भक्तिप्राधान्येन श्रवणसुभगत्वेन च इदम् अल्पेनैव कालेन प्रसिद्धम् अभवत्। नारायणीये प्रत्येकम् अध्यायस्य दशकमिति नाम। अयं ग्रन्थः सान्द्रानन्दावबोधात्मकम् अनुपमितम् इति आनन्दशब्दात् आरभ्य परमानन्दसन्दोहलक्ष्मीमिति आनन्दशब्देनैव समाप्तिं गतः। चरमपद्येन स्वग्रन्थस्य फलश्रुतिः अपि सूच्यते। अज्ञात्वा ते महत्त्वं यदिह निगदितं विश्वनाथ क्षमेथा स्तोत्रं चैतत्सहस्रोत्तरमधिकतरं त्वत्प्रसादाय भूयात्। द्वेधा नारायणीयं श्रुतिषु च जनुषा स्तुत्यता वर्णनेन स्फीतं लीलावतारैरिदमिह कुरुतादायुरारोग्यसौख्यम्। शास्त्रविषयेषु व्याकरणविषये भट्टपादः अत्यन्तं निष्णातः। स्वकृतिषु मुक्तकेषु अपि तस्य व्याकरणचातुर्यं दृश्यत एव। तत्र कानिचन उदाहरणानि नारायणीयाधारेण पत्रेणानेन अवलोक्यन्ते। भट्टपादानां व्याकरणप्रयोगचातुर्यं, पाण्डित्यं, शास्त्रज्ञानं, वैदग्ध्यम् इत्यादिकं नारायणीये प्रथमादिचरमश्लोकपर्यन्तं विशेषतः स्फुट्यत एव। तत्र केचन व्याकरणप्रयोगाः अवलोक्यन्ते। क्रियापदेषु विशेषाः। भट्टपादेन प्रयुक्तानि क्रियापदानि वैविध्यौचित्यादिना सुलभानि भवन्ति। भाति, भजति, श्रूयते, रमन्ते, आहुः, पुष्णाति, रमेरन्, आरमन्ति इत्येवं प्रथमदशकादेव दृश्यन्ते। भक्तेः, रसस्य, आनन्दस्य इत्येवं बहूनाम् आस्वादनानाम् अनुभवानां च सूचकानि क्रियापदानि प्राचुर्येण लभन्ते। न केवलं क्रियापदानि किन्तु प्रत्येकमपि पदविन्यासः काव्यस्य चारुतां वर्धयत्येव। तेन साकं भट्टपादानां भाषाप्रावीण्यं, पदप्रयोगचातुर्यं च सुव्यक्तं भवति। यानि पदानि प्रयुक्तानि तानि रमणीयान्येव। तेषां सन्निवेशः सहृदयचेतांसि आकर्षयन्ति च। यथा सत्वं यत्तत्पराभ्यामपरिकलनतो निर्मलं तेन तावत् भूतेर्भूतेन्द्रियैस्तेव पुरिति बहुशः श्रूयते व्यासवाक्यम्। तत्स्वच्छत्वाद्यदच्छादितपरसुखचिद्र गर्भनिर्भासरूपं तस्मिन् धन्या रमन्ते श्रुतिमतिमधुरे सुग्रहे विग्रहे ते। विष्णोः अतिशयं रूपं वर्णयन् कविः भक्तानां हृदयानि तस्मिन् मनोहरे रूपे रमन्ते इति चारुतया वर्णयति। भवतां रूपं सत्त्वगुणयुक्तं, रजस्तमोगुणयोर्विहीनं, पञ्चेन्द्रियैः निर्मितं कोमलं चैतन्यमिति व्यासोक्तिः पुराणेषु बहुत्र श्रूयते। अतिनैर्मल्यम् अनावृतं भवच्चैतन्यं संवीक्ष्य सुकृतिनां चित्तानि आनन्दरसे निमज्जन्ति। भवतां मनोहररूपे विग्रहे सुकृतिनः रमन्ते इति मनोहरं चमत्कारजनकं वर्णनम्। अन्यदेकं निदर्शनं। कष्टाते सृष्टिचेष्टा बहुतरभवखेदावः जीवभाजामित्येवं पूर्वमालोचितमजित मया नैव मद्याभिजाने। नो चेज्जीवा कथं वा मधुरतरमिदं त्वद्वपुश्चिद्रसार्द्रं नेत्रैः श्रोत्रैश्च पीत्वा परमरससुधाम्भोधिभूरे रमेरन्। हे भगवन्, जीविनां कृते बहुविधलौकिकदुःखप्रदायकः भवान् इति भवताम् एवं विधा प्रवृत्तिः कठिना इति च मया पूर्वं चिन्त्यते स्म। किन्तु अधुना नाहं तथा चिन्तयामि। यतो हि तथा भवता क्रियते चेत् जीविनः भवतां चिद्रसामृतेन आर्द्रिणः सन्तः मनोहरं भवद्रूपं नयनैः कर्णैः च आस्वाद्य परमानन्दरसामृताब्धौ कथं लीनाः भवेयुः। अनेनापि विष्णुस्तुतिपरकेण श्लोकेन सह मनोहरैः कृदन्तपदैः तरबादितद्धितान्तैः क्रियापदैः समस्तपदैः च आत्मनः पदप्रयोगचातुर्यं प्रदर्शयति। एवमेव लघु व्याकरणं सुलभैः मध्यमोत्तम पुरुषयुतक्रियारूपैः ग्रन्थेऽस्मिन् सन्निवेशयति। भाति, भातु, भजति, भजे, भजसे, यातोसि, ददति, दधासि इत्येवम्। एवमेव कृदन्तविशेषाः अपि तत्र बहु प्रयुक्ताः सन्ति। महितं, निगदितं, स्फीतम्, अनुपमितं, निर्मुक्तं, नित्यमुक्तं, नीतः, स्पष्टम् इत्येवम्। एवं नत्वा, गत्वा, श्रुत्वा, द्रावयित्वा बहुत्र कृदन्तरूपाणि सन्ति। तद्धितपदानामपि प्रयोगः बहुत्र दृश्यते। औपनिषदं, श्रेयसी, स्वादीयसी इत्येवं। पुनः किञ्चित् पाणिनीयाधारेण कृतं प्रयोगमपि उक्त्वा विरमामि। स्मा पुरा इत्यादीनाम् अव्ययानां योगे लट् स्मे यावत् पुरा इत्यादीनां
अपाणिनीयाः प्रयोगाः सन्ति चेत्, विशिष्टाः प्रयोगाः सन्ति चेत् तत्र फोकस् करोतु।
सत्यम्। अत्र यावत् पुरा निपातयोर् लट् पुरिलुङ् चास्मे इत्यादीनां विधीनाम् आधारेण वर्तमानकालार्थकः लट् प्रयुक्तः दृश्यते। एवमेव भर्तुरनाद्रता इत्यादीनां विशेषविभक्तिप्रयोगेष्वपि तस्य चातुर्यं स्पष्टमेव। नारायणीय ध्रुवचरिते उत्तानपादनृपतेः मनुनन्दनस्य नितराम् अभीष्टा सुरुचिः इति एका जाया आसीत्। अपरायां जायायां सुनीत्यां नृपतेः प्रीतिः न्यूना आसीत्, अतः सा भर्त्रा अनाद्रता आसीत्। तत् सूचनाय पाणिनीयाधारेण षष्ठी चानादरे इति सूत्रेण नारायणभट्टपादेन आधिक्यसूचनाय षष्ठी विभक्तिः प्रयुक्ता। एवमेव रते शब्दयोगे पाणिनिना अन्यारादिरतेर्दिक्शब्दाञ्चूतरपदा जाहियुक्ते इति सूत्रेण पञ्चमी विहिता। भट्टपादस्तु अपाणिनीयानामपि साधुत्वप्रतिपादकः सन् द्वितीया विभक्तिं प्रयुक्ते चित्ताद्रत्वं रते, शान्तिं रते, कुतः सुखम् इत्यादीनि। एवं प्राप्तायाः शूर्पनख्याः इति कश्चन प्रयोगः तत्र वर्तते। तत्र संज्ञायां स्त्रीप्रत्ययसम्बन्धविशिष्टः भवति। अत्र असंज्ञात्वात् पूर्वपदासंज्ञायाम् अगः इति सूत्रेण नत्वं न भवति। पूर्वपदात् संज्ञायाम् अगः इति नत्वं नखमुखात् संज्ञायाम् इति सूत्रेण नखमुखाभ्यां संज्ञाभ्यां ङीष् निषेधश्च पाणिनिना विहितः। शूर्पणखा, षण्मुखः इत्यादीनि रूपाणि च सिद्ध्यन्ति। प्रयोगोऽयम् अतीव स्वारस्यम् उपपादयति। नाम शूर्पनख्याः इति प्रयोगः। अत्र प्रयुक्तः शब्दः यदि रावणसहोदर्याः संज्ञा तर्हि पूर्वपदासंज्ञायाम् अगः इति नत्वेन भाव्यं, किञ्च नखमुखात् संज्ञायाम् इति ङीष् निषेधोऽपि स्यात्, किन्तु भट्टपादेन ङीष् प्रयुक्तः नत्वं च न कृतम्, अतः इयं न संज्ञा। तस्याः राक्षस्याः वैरूप्यं भयानकत्वं वा द्योतयन् यौगिकोऽयं प्रयोगः। इत्थं नारायणीये बहुत्र विशिष्टप्रयोगाः द्रष्टुं शक्यन्ते। एतावदुक्त्वा
दुर्लभ्यवस्तुनि राजयुध्वा
सत्यं दुर्लभ्यवस्तुनि।
महान् सन्तोषः, महान् आनन्दः, धन्यवादः। तदनन्तरं सादरम् आह्वयन्ते चन्द्रिकामहोदयाः। Her presentation is in English. Bhakti as the prime means of worldly relief. Professor Chandrika. She is a proficient teacher, so she also knows how to condense.
I'm not presenting. Just I will go after.
It's only just a request. 10 minutes, please.
Yes. Respected Chairperson, Robert Scholars, and my dear brothers and sisters, Sarvebhyo Namo Namah. My topic is Bhakti as the prime means of worldly relief in Kali Yuga. I think most slogas which were already explained here in the morning session itself. Narayaniya is a poetic composition written by Merpattur Narayana Bhattadari and is an abridged form of Bhagavata Purana. Here he has abridged 18,000 verses into 1036 verses in 100 dashakas. Bhagavata has 12 skandhas and 332 chapters. In the 19th dashaka, 11th verse, the author himself has said the matter as Vyasokti Saramaya Bhagavatopagita. There is a legend behind the composition of the work. Hmm. Yes, yes, yes. As it's okay. Yes, yes. Morning itself, it has been. As per our Sanatana Dharma, a soul after a series of births attains this human body for getting release, moksha, that is Paramapurushartha, from the bondage of samsara, which is full of sorrows and confusion. Jnana, karma, and bhakti are the major means for release. In the second Dashaka, named as the form, full aspect of the Lord and the evolution of bhakti, he says that evam bhudadayaki bhakti abhigido yogasa yoga dvayad कर्मज्ञानमयात् पुरुषोत्तमतरो योगीश्वरे गीयते सौन्दर्येक रसात्मके त्वयि खलु प्रेमप्रकर्षात्मिका भक्तिर्निश्रममेव विश्वपुरुषैर्लभ्या रमावल्लभा. It is for this reason, O consort of Lakshmi, that the path of bhakti has been pronounced by great sages as superior to the other two paths, that is karma and jnana. For bhakti, which consists in the feeling of unconditional love for the Lord, is natural to man and is therefore attainable effortlessly. The same idea is elaborated in the next verse also. Nishkamam niyadaswadharmacharanam cha karma yogabhidham tad duretyabhalam yada upanishada jnanopalabhyam punaha tattva avyaktadaya sudurgamataram chittasya tasmad vibho tot prematmaka bhaktireva sadadam swadiyasi shreyasi. I am not translating the thing. Next, the definition of bhakti is described in the first verse of the 15th Dashaka as Madiriha Gunasakta Bandhakriteshwasakta Twamrida Kriduvabrundhe Bhakti Yogastu Saktim Mahadanugama Lebhya Bhaktirevatra Sadhya Kabilatanuriditum Devahute Negadehi. In this verse, not only the definition of bhakti is said, but also what makes it unbound in the samsara is also expressed. The attachment to sense objects binds us in the world, and detachment to the sense objects makes us release. And hence, those who wish to get liberation should extinguish this attachment completely. In the Narayaniya, Melpattur praises the greatness of Narayana as Supreme Lord. In all the Vedas, Idihasas and Puranas, he is the one who is said taken several births for destroying adharma and establishing dharma. He is placed above the triple gods. In the 19th Dashaka, there is a verse, goes on like this. Tatrabi sattvigatanum tava vishnumahu tadatu sattu viralo rajasaiva purnaha sattotkadatvam abhichasti tamo vigara cheshtadigancha tava shankara namni murtu. It is known fact that the philosophy of Narayaniya is Advaita only. It is said that Maya Sannihido Pravishta Vapusha Sakshidi Gido Bhavan Pedestam Pradibimbado Vivishivan Jivo Vinaiva Paraha Kaladi Pradibodhita Bhavada Samjodida Chasoyam Maya Sakal Buddhi Tattvam Asjat Yoso Mahanuchede. I am not translating the verse. I think all of you are fully acquainted with this. Then the 19th Dashaka explains how a devotee attains this state in detail. Yathartyat Tvanmayasyeva himama navibho vastudo bendamoksho maya vidya danubhyam tavatu virachido swapna bodhopamutau bethe jivad vimuktim gadavadi chafida tavadi tavadego phungte dehadrumasto vishayaphalarasan naparo nirvyathatma. After acquiring this status, he will become liberated in his lifetime itself. This state of liberation while living is named as Jivan Mukti. It is also explained morning itself. The status of society actually depends on how many Jivan Muktas are there living in our country, for they are really supporting the smooth living of that country. They will make others live a pious living. जीवन मुक्तत्वमेवं विधम इति वचसा किं फलं दूरे दूरे तन्नामा शुद्ध बुद्धेर न च खलु मनसः शोधनं भक्तिदोन्यत् तन्मे विष्णो कृषिष्टास्तोयि कृतसंगल प्रार्पणं भक्तिभारं येन स्यां मंक्षु किंचित् गुरुवचनमिलत् त्वत्प्रबोध त्वदात्मा. The very nature of Kali Yuga is what all the sensual pleasures are within the reach of our fingertip, and which creates a tendency to enjoy the same. If a pleasure-giving material is easily available on our doorstep, it may be certain that it will prompt us to order. That will be foods or anything of that sort will pleasure or pressure our senses. It is natural that the common man will automatically begin to use them. The beauty is that as long as we are enjoying them, the urge will not stop but itself. Instead, it will grow up as if we pour some ghee on fire. It will begin to rise up more vigorously. At last, by our overusage, the sense objects, there may arise a lot of physical as well as mental ailments. Till today, nobody is seen satisfied by sense pleasures. Instead of enjoying them, if we can enjoy the beauty of the nectar of bhakti on the Lord, it will lead us to our aim in life. Sensual enjoyment will ruin us, but bhakti, Bhagavad Bhakti will protect us. More than this, if we can succeed in creating detachment from worldly pleasures, we can get rid of the pressures we can face in the family life easily, and which will make our life more useful, and our social life also will be enriched. So it is well said that in Kali Yuga, bhakti is the suitable means for attaining our desired end. There is another reason for saying that bhakti is a siddha ushada. Mostly, all of us are living with the support of others. So their life circumstances will affect our life. So if we can practice the way of detachment, we can bear some unexpected situations happening in our life. Otherwise, some behavioral defects of our family members will affect us fatally. Once when the notion of bhakti touches us deeply in our innermost self, it will end in the oneness notion, that is Advaita Bodha. And the very same realization teaches us to see all creatures on this earth as our own self, that is, there is God in everything. And at the advent of this feeling, the feeling of separatedness will vanish. All will become our own kith and kin, and we will begin to like each and everyone as ours. These are the reasons for saying that during Kali Yuga, bhakti is the right means of liberation. In the age of Kali, these are the easiest methods for attaining bhakti. There is a verse from the 92nd stanza. Ganga Gita cha Gayatri cha Tulasika Gopika Chandanam tat Salagrama Puja Parapurusha Tadekadashi Namavarnaha Edanya Ashtapya Ayatnanyai Kalisame Totprasada Prasidhya Chipram Mukti Pradayitya Abhidadur Rishaya Steshu Mam Sanjayedha. In the 94th Deshaka, Bhattadiri says, Aikyam te Danahoma Vrada Niyata Tapa Sankhya Yoger Durapam Tot Sangeneva Gopya Kila Sukritita Maha Prabhurananda Sandram Bhakteshu Anyeshu Puyastobi Behumanushe Bhaktimeva Tomasam Tanme Tot Bhaktimeva Dridhayahara Gadan Krishna Vadalayesha. There is no need of explaining, translating it. Even though bhakti is considered as the easiest method for means for release, one has to practice bhakti in the early life itself. For by practicing this, he can tackle each and every life situation easily. The very same fact can be understood from the very definition of bhakti, that is, I have already explained it. Madiriha gunasakta bendhagritte shasakta to amrdagradu ubarundhe bhakti yogastu saktim mahad anugamalebhya bhakti revatra sadhya kabiladanuriritvam devahute nagadehi. Release as well as bandha are created by our own notion of life. If we can change our attitude towards the life, we can tackle each and every problem in our lives, and naturally we will be liberated from the trammels of birth and death. There is a controversy among the scholars that how can Narayaniya be classified under the Bhakti Kavyas, while here the author is asking the Lord to relieve him from the pain of rheumatism. A devotional poem should not ask for any benefits from the deity. The answer is that in the Bhagavad Gita there is a verse, Chaturvidha bhajande mam jana sugridinorjuna artho jijnasur artharthi jnani cha bharadarshapha. Among these four, Narayana Bhatta belongs to the first type, that is Artha. This itself is the peculiarity of the work and the easiest means in Kali Yuga. In this age, we are all Arthas. People are affected by so many diseases, both physical and mental. Everyone in this world, irrespective of caste, color, creed, religion, anything, etc., wishes to live his life happily on this earth. And those who had bhakti in their innermost self or Narayana can live happily because this will make their very approach towards this life change. And even in crucial family situations, they will manage themselves with the weapon of detachment towards their life and attachment towards the Lord. This is the secret behind their peaceful life. Thank you very much for patient hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Chandrika, for elucidating the focal aspect. Uparundhe bhakti yogastu saktim mahad anugamalabhya bhakti revatra sadhya, and also bhaktir nishramameva vishwapurushaihi labhya ramavallabha. Thank you. Now I call upon Dr. Sajid C.S. and he is to make his presentation on Narayaniyam and the Guruvayur temple. He is also professor of Sanskrit. He knows pretty well how to make brief his presentation.
Sarvebhyo Namaha. There is one mistake. My topic is influence of Narayaniyam in classical theatre of Kerala, a study based on Krishnatam. Krishnatam is a particular art form which is originated from Kerala and formed by Manaveda, who has been a great scholar. I skipped some parts of this paper due to the timeless. No. I focus only main points and conclusion. I can read. In Narayana, the story is telling by addressing Krishna. Manaveda adopted the same style in his work as he studied Narayaniyam well and believed in its core principles. So even when the art form of Krishnatam was created, no change was brought to that style. Both texts, which means Narayanam and Krishnatam, equally amazes in the use of Anuprasa. At most places in Krishnatam, Padamegham Ardham Va in Narayanam is used by Anuprasa incidentally. A special mention is mandatory here about the poet's extraordinary skill that the using of Anuprasa. Perhaps it is because most of the Gidi Kavyas get the Talalaya Madhurya through the use of Anuprasa. Dodasha Prasam using by Manaveda. Ahisara masara madim tarasa sarasada basara idum urusara rasada dasanucharam manasa vyavasaya masava kritha. Such as Andhanuprasam. Lakshmi Kandam Nidhandam Udamiha Bajadam Avahandam Vahandam Karunyam Kandimadam Jagadavana Kalalobhavandam Bhavandam, etc. Such like Manaveda used in Krishnatam text. Manaveda has liberally used the vrittas in Krishna Gidi as it like in Narayana. The song Athavarini Gaurataram Paninam in Kalyamardhanam, part of Narayana, is structured in Thodaga Vritta. Manaveda has also adopted a similar style in his Krishna Gidi. The words Ambara Chumbaga Vidabaga Kadabam is a good example for this. All songs in Kalyamardhana are excellent. Due to the beauty of Anuprasa and the peculiarity of Vrittas, Kalyamardhana stays distinct from other pragaras. Gobiga hi tava vamshiga viruda sevana kalida manasa gehado bahula vegado gahana magada mahida lalasa Sandra Gandhi Bharachandra Gandha Tarachandrigavadi Nishamukhe Balavada Duda Salajada Sumavasida Aghila Dishamukhe. Kusuma Manjari of Narayaniya is structured to give more prominence to Bhava. Manaveda uses Kusuma Manjari in Rasa Krida. It is used in the scene where Gopikas run to Krishna on hearing the song played on the flute. It can also be seen Kamsavada. Kusuma Manjari is the same as the Rasalila dance description found in Narayanam and Krishnanatam. But in this part, Manaveda with his imaginative skill applied the appropriate word for dance by making it a little more beautiful. Pani Kamala Tala Milida Pada Padane, Pada Kadaga Hema Valaya Nada Mohane, Gobaloga Punya Parima Dedi Mohane, Vasudeva Lesi Deha Rasa Khelane, Kamana Kanaga Sarasanaga Ninada Lobhane. There are also verses in Krishnatam which make it seem like the verses in Narayanam were written in the same way. But there is his own style of performance that make him entirely different from Bhattadiri. where Bhattadiri has used another kind of vritta named Sammada vritta in Narayaniya. Bhattadiri has used this vrittam to denote Sambhoga Sringara, but Manaveda has used this vritta in sloga like Vidhedaya Naiva Jayade in Kamsavada and Prahidavane Tvam Prasugrade of Swayamvara in another Gopiga Vilaba. He has used the Sammada vritta in Sambhoga Sringara and other appropriate instances too. In addition to Vipralamba Sringaram, Sambhoga Sringaram like Bhattadiri is also used in Krishnanatam. But Manaveda has written this verse with a slight deviation from the Sammada vritta. A guru is used instead of the first two legus in the Sammada vritta. Conclusion. Narayaniyam is a wonderful text which is written by the famous poet in Kerala, Bhattadiri. Krishnatam is a visual expression form of marvelous poem Krishna Giti. There are the differences and similarities between these two texts. In this paper, it has been studied the only similarities or sajatya. The main reason for the similarities between these two texts as it is the text Narayana has very attracted by Manaveda. The devotional concentration and the beauty of sound and meaning are being differentiated from the other poets. Narayana stotras are chanted from childhood in the evening. By listening to them and reciting them in order, he memorized Narayanam. He tried to imitate in his work Krishna Giti the language acquired through it and his excessive interest in Narayanam. Perhaps the kavitvam which has been inherent in him, it can be originated from the chanting of Narayaniya. Most of the cases, the idea, piti, vritta and rhythm are seeming to be in a glance the similarity to this text. But there is the poet's poetic imagination is seen enough. It is noteworthy that Manavedan has deliberately tried to bring his own style with his own imagination and talent, even though it is similar to Narayana. In any case, the devotion of the two Kavindras towards Krishna is well known to the connoisseurs, so they don't have an exaggeration in the compliments of each other. It is undoubted that these two poems are the best among which praise Krishna. If it says in another observation, Manavedan may have done this kind of imitation to commemorate the shrine of his contemporary Bhattadiri as Guru. Here also, Bhakti is the most important thing, or Sarva Sarasu. Thank you.
Friends, it's an important topic he has dealt with. Influence of Narayaniya Stotra on another work, Krishna Giti. It is the text which is used in the stage art form, Krishnanatam, which is given as an offering in the Sri Krishna temple, Guruvayur. The author, Manaveda, was a scholar and a king, Samarin of Calicut. He was also a great grammarian. He has written another work also, Purva Bharata Champu, to show his proficiency in Vyakarana. Yes, that is it. Yes. Yes, it would have been. I wish you put it out in that listing. At least tomorrow we can see that at least visuals. Yes, it would have been a better experience. Thank you. Anyway, thank you. Now let me call upon Dr. M. Archana. Available? Dr. Narendra B.S. एतैः नारायणीयस्तोत्रे अलङ्कारवैचित्र्यम् इति विषये प्रस्तूयते. श्रीमन्तः प्रार्थ्यन्ते. न वक्तव्यं किल?
सर्वेभ्यः भूयांसि नमांसि. नमो नमः शारदा शङ्कराभ्याम्. इदानीम् अहं नारायणीयस्तोत्रे अलङ्कारवैचित्र्यम् इति विषये यथामति प्रस्तौमि। साक्षात् विषयप्रवेशः क्रियते। प्रथमतया अनुप्रासालङ्कारः। नारायणीये द्वितीयदशकस्य तृतीयपद्ये अनुप्रासस्य भेदेषु अन्यतमः चेकानुप्रासः दृश्यते। यत्रैलोकय महीयसोऽपि महितं सम्मोहनं मोहनात् कान्तं कान्तनिदानतोऽपि मधुरं माधुर्यदुर्यादपि सौन्दर्योत्तरतोऽपि सुन्दरतरं त्वद्रूपमाश्चर्यतोऽप्याश्चर्यं भुवने न कस्य कुतुकं पुष्णाति विष्णोः विभो। चेको व्यञ्जनसङ्गस्य सकृत् साम्यमनेकदा इति कविराज विश्वनाथानुसारेण चेकानुप्रासलक्षणात् अस्मिन् पद्ये मकार ककार धकार वकाराणां पुनरावृत्तित्वात् अत्यन्त चमत्कारी रूपेण चेकानुप्रासः दृश्यते। नारायणीये चतुर्थदशकस्य प्रथमपद्ये नृत्यनुप्रासः यथा भवति। कल्यतां मम कुरुष्व तावतीं भवदुपासनं यथा स्पष्टमष्टविधतोगचर्यया पुष्टयाशु तव तुष्टिमाप्नुयाम्। अनेकस्येकदा साम्यमसकृद्भाप्यनेकदा एकस्य सकृदप्येष नृत्यनुप्रास उच्यते इति लक्षणानुगुणेन अत्र ख व श तत ठ वर्णानां पुनरावृत्तित्वात् नृत्यनुप्रास अलङ्कारः भवति। श्लेषालङ्कार। नारायणीये चतुस्सप्ततिदशके द्वितीयपद्ये कविना श्लेषयुक्तशब्दानां प्रयोगः कृतः। यथा त्वत्पादद्युतिवत् सरागसुभगा त्वन्मूर्तिवध्योषितः सम्प्राप्ता विलसत्पयोधररुचो लोला भवद्दृष्टिवत् हारिण्यास्त्वद् दुरस्थलीविद विदायीते मंदस्मिता प्रौढिव नैर्मल्योल्लासिता कचोगरिश्चिद्राव कलापाश्रिताः। श्लिष्टै पदेकार्ताभिधाने श्लेषः इत्यते इति श्लेषालङ्कारलक्षणात् अस्मिन् पद्ये पयोधरः इति शब्दः प्रयोगं कृतः। पयोधरशब्देन मेघः, उन्नत उरजः, नारिकेल जलम् इत्यादि अनेकार्थत्वात् अत्र श्लेषालङ्कारः भवति। यमकालङ्कार। नारायणीये चतुर्दशदशकस्य प्रथमपद्ये यमकालङ्कारः दृश्यते। यथा समनुस्मृत तावकाङ्घ्रियुग्म समनु पंकज संभवाङ्गजन्माः निजमन्तरमन्तराय हीनं चरितं ते कथयन् सुखं निनाय। अस्मिन् पद्ये प्रथमपङ्क्तौ समनु शब्दः द्विवारं प्रयुक्तः। प्रथमसमनु शब्दः निरन्तरमिति, द्वितीयं तु ब्रह्मपुत्रमिति अर्थं प्रकटयति। द्वितीयपङ्क्तौ अपि मन्तर शब्दः द्विवारं प्रयुक्तः। प्रथममन्तरशब्दः समयमिति, द्वितीयं तु व्याधिरहितमिति अर्थं सूचयति। भिन्नार्थयुक्तस्वरव्यञ्जनासमूह सार्थकशब्दानां पूर्वानुक्रमानुसारेण पुनरावृत्तित्वात् तत्र यमकालङ्कारः भवति। अर्थालङ्कारेषु उपमालङ्कारः। उपमा यत्र सादृश्य लक्ष्मीरुल्लसति द्वयो इति लक्षणानुसारेण नारायणीये 1940 दशकस्य चतुर्थपद्ये उपमालङ्कारः दृश्यते। ध्रुवं कपटशालिनो मधुहरस्य माया भवेदासाविति किशोरिकां भगिनिकाकार आकारलिङ्गितां द्विपो नलिनीकान्तरादिव मृणालिकाम् आक्षिप्तन्नयन् त्वजनुद मुलपट्टके पिष्टवान्। अस्मिन् पद्ये मृणाललता कन्ययोः सादृश्यं तथा गज कंसयोः सादृश्यम्। अत्र देवकी कंस उपमेयं, नलिनी गजः उपमानं। रूपकालङ्कार। नारायणीये स्तोत्रे 39 दशके तृतीयपद्ये रूपकालङ्कारः प्रतीयते। यथा का त्वं मृगाक्षि विभजस्व सुधामिमाम् इत्यरूढरागाविशान् अभियाचतोमून् विश्वस्यते मयि कथं कुलटास्मि दैत्य इत्यालपन्नोऽपि सुविश्वासिता नतानीः तद्रूपकम् अभेदो य उपमानोपमेयो इति मम्मट मतानुसारेण अस्मिन् पद्ये मोहिनीनेत्रयोः मध्ये मृगनेत्रयोः आरोपः कृतः। अतः अत्र रूपकालङ्कारः भवति। व्याजस्तुति अलङ्कार। आचार्य मम्मटानुसारेण व्याजस्तुतिर्मुखे निन्दास्तुतिर्वा रूढिरन्यता इति लक्षणानुसारेण नारायणीये 45 दशकस्य नवमपद्ये व्याजस्तुतिः अलङ्कारः प्रतिभाति यत् मम खलु बलिगेः याचनं जातमास्तामिह पुनरबलानाम् अग्रतो नैव कुर्वे इति विहितमतिः किं देव संत्यज्य याञ्चां दधिघृत
संत्यज्य याच्ञां
याञ्ज्ञां दधिघृतम् अहरस्त्वं चारुणा चोरणेन। अस्मिन् पद्ये भगवान् कृष्णः बलिगेः याचिता, परन्तु अबलानां समीपे एवं न करोमि इति वचनेन आत्माभिमानं प्रकटितवान्। बलिगृहे याचनेन अबला वञ्चनेन कृष्णस्य भीरुत्वं कातरत्वं च प्रकटीकृतः। आत्माभिमानः प्रकटनं स्तुतिः, कृष्णस्य भीरुत्वं कातरता निन्दा। अतः अत्र स्तुतिनिन्दत्वात् व्याजस्तुति अलङ्कारः। अनन्वय अलङ्कारः। उपमानोपमेयत्वम् एकस्यैव अनन्वयः इति लक्षणानुसारेण नारायणीये 16 दशकस्य 8 श्लोके अनन्वय अलङ्कारः यथा दृष्टोर्वशीं तव कथां च निशम्य शक्रः पर्याकुलोञ्जनी भवन् महिमा विमर्शात् एवं रमणीय तारावतार त्वत्पोधिको वरदः कृष्णतनुत्वमेव। पद्येऽस्मिन् हे वरद भवतः अत्यन्तशान्तः रमणीय नारायणस्वरूपापेक्षया कृष्णस्वरूपावतारः एव अधिकमहिमायुक्तमिति कथनेन उपमानोपमेययोः धर्म एकविषयाधारित्वात् अनन्वयालङ्कारः। अग्रे विरोधाभासालङ्कारः। प्रश्नद्वयं
तदहं पठामि। अत्र तिष्ठन्तु भवन्तः, अहं सम्पूर्णतया पठामि, वाचयामि। विरोधाभासालङ्कारः। आभासत्वे विरोधस्य विरोधाभासयिष्यते इति विरोधाभासस्य लक्षणत्वात् नारायणीये 70तमस्य दशकस्य नवमपद्ये चित्रमध्य भगवान् वृषथातात् सुस्थिराजनि वृषस्थितिरुर्व्यां वर्धते च वृषचेतसि भूयान्मोदयिति अभिनुतोऽसि सुरैस्त्वम्। अस्मिन् पद्ये वृषशब्दः द्विः प्रयुक्तः। वृष इति शब्देन वृषभासुरः तथा धर्म इति अर्थद्वयं प्रस्फुरति। धर्माधर्मपरस्परविरोधार्थककारणेन अत्र विरोधाभासालङ्कारः। अर्थान्तरन्यासालङ्कारः। सामान्यं वा विशेषो वा तदन्येन समर्थ्यते यत्र सौर्थान्तरन्यासः साधम्येन एतरेण वा इति लक्षणानुसारं यत्र सामान्येन विशेषस्य समर्थनम् अथवा विशेषेण सामान्यस्य समर्थनं भवति तत्र अर्थान्तरन्यासालङ्कारः। नारायणीये 23 दशके 11 पद्ये अर्थान्तरन्यासालङ्कारः वर्तते। यथा त्वत्सेवनेन दितिः इन्द्रवधोद्यतापि तान् प्रत्युत इन्द्रसुहृदो मरुतो भिलेभे दुष्टाशयेऽपि शुभदैव भवन्निषेवा तत्तादृशः त्वमव मां पवनालयेश। पद्येऽस्मिन् इन्द्रपदार्थं दितिः नारायणाराधनं कृतवती, किन्तु नारायणः तस्य इन्द्रमित्र 49 इत्यादि लिखितं। समीचीनमस्ति, धन्यवादः। श्रमः कृतः, किन्तु कर्नाटको भवान् कर्नाटकेषु मैसूरुनगरे बेङ्गलूरुनगरे च बहवो विद्वांसः सन्ति। सम्यक् इतोपि महत्या श्रद्धया पठनीयं। श्रमः कृतः। तत्र श्लोकवाचनसमये इतोपि अधिकं श्रद्धा देया इत्येव अभिनन्दामि। यस्, ज्ञायते ज्ञायते। श्रमः कृतः इति महान् प्रमोदः।
धन्यवादः।
हाँ, अष्टौ प्रस्तावाः अवतरणानि जातानि। सत्राध्यक्षस्य च इति आहत्य तत्र किञ्चिदिव संक्षेपः उच्यते। यमुनादेवी नाम्न्या तथा नरेन्द्रमहोदयेन च अलङ्कारवैचित्र्ये शब्दप्रयोगे अर्थवैचित्र्ये च विचारः प्रस्तुतः। रामकृष्णमहोदयैः अद्वैतवेदान्तविषये विचारः सम्यक् निरूपितः। उमापतिमहोदयेन तथैव सुन्दरेश्वरेण नारायणीयश्रीमद्भागवतयोः तुलना कृता इव, तैस्तावत् तुलना कृता इव अनेन जनेन अन्यः कोऽपि विचारः यद्यपि असम्पूर्णः सम्पूर्णतया संतृप्ततया वक्तुम् अवकाशः न लब्धः तथापि स विषयः प्रस्तुतः। साई गणेश कृष्णन् तैः आन्लैन् द्वारा स्वीयः अनुभवः सम्यक् प्रस्तुतः आङ्ग्ल्या। रूपा महोदया व्याकरणे विशिष्टाः प्रयोगाः ये भट्टपादैः कृताः तद्विषये विचारः प्रस्तुतः। चन्द्रिका महोदया च विश्वपुरुषैर्भक्तिर्निश्रममेव विश्वपुरुषैर्लभ्या रमावल्लभा इति अयं विषयः प्रस्तुतः। महान् सन्तोषः अस्मै जनायापि अवकाशो दत्तः अत्र भागं गृहीतुमिति। महान्तः ये अत्र आगत्य विषयं प्रस्तुतवन्तः प्रातरारभ्य एतावत्पर्यन्तं बहुषु स्तरेषु बहुषु विषयेषु रक्ताः, बहुषु स्तरेषु वर्तमानाः, शक्तौ अपि विविधस्तरेषु वर्तमानाः, किन्तु सर्वैरपि महत्या श्रद्धया विषये निर्वर्णनं कृतं, वर्णनमपि कृतम् इति महान् आनन्दः इति उक्त्वा विरमति अयं जनः।
धन्यवादाः। इदानीं पत्रप्रस्तोतॄणां प्रमाणपत्रं दीयते। तद्दातुम् अहं सत्राध्यक्षान् सम्प्रार्थये। नाम वाचयामि। प्रथमं डॉक्टर यमुना देवी। अतः डॉक्टर एस उमापति, डॉक्टर बी चंद्रिका, डॉक्टर वी रूपा, डॉक्टर एम अर्चना नासीत् खलु, डॉक्टर नरेंद्र BS, डॉक्टर सजेश CS, इदानीं सत्राध्यक्षाः सम्मान्यन्ते। तेषां सम्माननार्थम् अस्माकं न्यायाधीशचरान् सम्प्रार्थये मञ्चमागत्य सभाध्यक्षान् सम्मानयन्तु इति। धन्यवादाः। एतावता इदं द्वितीयं सत्रं सुसम्पन्नं। तत्र अस्माकं प्रार्थनाम् अङ्गीकृत्य केरलतः स्वकीयं सकलविधं श्रममपि अविगणय्य श्वः तेषां वर्ल्ड् संस्कृत कान्फरेन्स् कृते बहु कार्याणि आसन्। तथापि यदा अस्माभिः एतादृशसङ्गोष्ठी प्रचाल्यते तदर्थं भवद्भिः आगत्य अत्र सभाध्यक्षपदम् ऊढ्वा उपकारः कर्तव्यः इति यदा अस्माभिः प्रार्थितं तदानीं झटिति तैः अङ्गीकृतं। तथा अत्र एतादृशसङ्गोष्ठीप्रचालनार्थमपि तेभ्यः साहाय्यमपि अस्माभिः प्राप्तं, मार्गदर्शनादिकमपि तैः कृतं। तत्र नारायणीयविषयप्रदानेन एते विषयाः अत्र विशिष्य चर्चनीयाः सन्ति इति बहवः विषयाः तैः निर्दिष्टाः आसन्। ते सर्वेपि अस्माभिः स्वीकृताः। अतः अस्याः सङ्गोष्ठ्याः सञ्चालने तेषामपि दायित्वमस्ति। तथा शरीरश्रममपि अविगणय्य विद्यमानानि सर्वाण्यपि कार्याणि परित्यज्य अस्माकं कृते अस्मासु विद्यमानेन वात्सल्येन ते प्रीत्या च अत्र समागताः सन्ति। तेभ्यः अहं निर्वाहकपक्षतः कलाशालायाः पक्षतश्च हार्दिकं धन्यवादं व्याहरामि। तथा अत्र पत्रप्रस्तोतारः बहवः केरलतः एवं कर्नाटकतः एवं बहु दूरात् समागताः सन्ति। तेभ्यः सर्वेभ्योऽपि मे धन्यवादाः समर्प्यन्ते। तथा आन्लैन् माध्यमेन US तः अपि एकः अत्र पत्रावतरणं कृतवान्, तस्यापि कृते धन्यवादाः वितीर्यन्ते। विशिष्य अस्माकं प्राक्तन DGP महोदयाः CL रामकृष्णन् महोदयाः तेपि अत्र आगत्य स्वकीयं पाण्डित्यपूर्णं भाषणं व्यदधुः। तेभ्यः अपि धन्यवादाः वितीर्यन्ते। एतावता इदं सत्रं समाप्यते। श्वः प्रातः तृतीयं सत्रं। धन्यवादाः। पत्रप्रस्तोतारः अद्यतनपत्रप्रस्तोतारः ये सन्ति ते कृपया मञ्चमागत्य एकं